sixth in points. He rides aboard the number 7 from Glenville, Pennsylvania on a GBC Motorsports Canyon Fly Racing backed Honda LW7, Landon Wolfe. He was a co-champion with Mark Nauman and Walker Fowler at this year's Heartland Challenge, riding for the number 13, rolling to the line 7th today. From Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha, Johnny G. Johnny Gallagher. Eighth today. He is 8th in points, and he has one of New York's own. On the T-shirt from Rich Dillinger's Pub, GBC Motorsports Moose Racing backed Honda, Marty Christopherson. To the line next, one of our GNCC rookies. He rides aboard the 741 from Myersville, Maryland on a ye old Cycle Barn Walsh Hetrick Racing ATV Innovation Solo Pilot Bag Suzuki, Wesley WOLFE. He is ranked 10th in points from Akron, Ohio on a B&R Motorsports Maxxis Pro Graph X backed Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Rolling to the line next, he rides aboard the number 201, a former morning overall champion. He hails from Carroll, Ohio on a Pierce Performance Maxxis Mooseback Yamaha, CODY COLLIER. To the line next, he rides aboard the number 14 from Denville, New Jersey on a JMR ATVRiders.com Honda, Randy Hamilton. And last and certainly not least, aboard the 816 from Green Valley, Missouri on a Shockworth Motorsports Spider Graphics GBC backed Honda, Tucker Wyatt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC. And before we get underway with the rest of today's opening ceremonies, at this time I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Tim Cotter.
All right, so you got your music ready? Hey, if we could get these bikes on the line, turn the engines off. And if we could have everyone step behind the pro line would be helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you are a first responder, work in the EMS field, the fire and rescue field, or a member, current or past member of our military, we ask that you please walk forward to the orange line located just in front of our pro row. Come on, folks, first responder. Drivers, join these men and women, these brave men and women on this front line as we get ready to race here at Unadilla Valley Sports Center. I can tell you it is quite moving for us at Racer Productions to look at our community and knowing that you folks are not only dirt bike riders or ATV riders, but you are true warriors, and you're great Americans. And at GNCC, we stand and honor America. Today, I want to take a moment and remind you of Ethan Fitro. Ethan Fitro was one of our racers. He was one of you. He would have been here today with a smile on his face and ready to tackle these woods. Ethan's life was cut way too short last week in a car accident near Fairmont, West Virginia. So if we can just take a moment here now and remember Ethan Fitro, one of our brothers. Thank you, and remember Ethan. And now Ricky Towery, if you would come forward and give the blessing, as you do every week, to our GNCC Racing Nation.
Thank you. Hey, let's go to the Lord and have water prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for bringing us all back together safely so we can come out here and enjoy this sport that we do love dearly so much. We do have so many things to be thankful for. Just being here is one of them. Lord, we just ask you will watch over these riders this afternoon. You will keep them safe. Let them go out there and have fun and a little competition. Lord, we take time now to remember 9/11, the families that lost members during that and was injured. Continue to be with them years later. Continue to watch over them every day. Help them make another day, another week. We thank you for our local policemen, firemen, and paramedics in all our small communities throughout the United States every day that take care of us on a local basis, Lord. We just thank you for that. We thank you for this landowner, Lord, for letting us use this piece of property. Lord, we're just so thankful that we're here today. We know every person here has their own special prayer request. That's why we're so thankful, Lord, that you're in control of everything each and every day. We also want to ask a blessing on the storm victims in Texas and in Florida. We ask you to be with them. We know it's going to take many months to get their lives back in order. Continue to be with them. Lord, just watch over our military men and women each and every day. Take us all home safely when this is over with so we can get back together again one day. And we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please remain standing. Stand at attention, remove those caps, and cross those hearts as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem. folks, there you have it. The stage is set. And GNCC Racing about ready to resume here in the hills of Unadilla and this wonderful river valley. Man, what a great day. It is a little bit chilly, a little overcast, but it is perfect for motorcycle and ATV racing, and that's what we've got in stock right here for you today. Great ATV racing and the possibility of a championship at hand for Walker Fowler as he is faced with his third championship in a row in the XC1 Pro class. Basically, he has got to win this one today to win it outright. Now, if he finishes second, then he has to win by and gain at least 5 points over Adam McGill. Whatever position it is, if he doesn't win, he has to score more than 5 or more points than Adam McGill in order to clinch the championship today. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on this one as the day rolls on. And if you look back at the history of Unadilla, Walker Fowler has been a main force in many of the overall wins and many of the battles that have been taking place here since he was in the XC2 Pro-Am class. So to say that Unadilla has been good to Walker Fowler, I think that's an understatement. Could it be even better here today with the claiming of a national championship? Well, I'll tell you right now, the Gator, Adam McGill, with a very inspiring summer, so to speak, is back here in the late summer, early fall, as he is ready to tackle this and slow Walker Fowler's progression and his third championship possibility down just a little bit as Ricky Towery signals to these riders on the start line that we are just a minute or so away from getting ready to go. So all of our attention turns down to Rick Towery, or up to Rick Towery in this case, as he stands in that off-camber first turn region now and begins our starting sequence here at Unadilla to resume GNCC in 2017. It has been since July 8th and 9th at John Penton in Ohio since the last time we met. So we shut them down, guys. Shut them down. Shut them down. We are now less than 30 seconds away from going racing here at Unadilla. And I got to ask you, New York race fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? I heard this guy walking beside me, but these guys on the starting line, they're over flooding you guys. I can't hear you, so I'm going to ask you one more time. And I do know that we are in Winoa country, my friends, because, hey, man, I know, and I'm going to say, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Here today as on that first Chris Borich. Borich out front, Walker Fowler in second, Landon Wolf back in the number 3 spot to kick things off. Could Chris Borich be the spoiler today? As we go to the XC2 Pro-Am class now, Greg Covert, Devin Feehan, Hunter Hart, all New York natives, Kenny Schick, Levi Cohen, Kenneth Kelly, Gabriel Knott, Matt Lindell, Brandon Eichert, and Wyatt Wilkin ready to roll. 10 seconds. And the XC2 are off and rolling here in Unadilla. Hot cams, wise go. And I believe that might be 33 of Lee grabbing the whole shot in that. Coming up next, A.J. Kuntz, Jeff Pickens, Corey Blinkowitz, Todd Muscala, the Marble Man, Brian Axline, Robert Picarari, Brian Vondercheck, Jeremy Fontaine, Scotty Rich, Matt Bose, Robbie Ulrich, Jesse Adkins. 10 seconds. Ryan Purvis, Eric Vallejo, Mark Potter, Kevin Patterson, Jared Little, Brad Whitehead, Adam Reed, Joseph Bozak, and Richard Williams. Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania on the GBC Tires Waynesburg Yamaha Fly Racing Bag machine. Picking up the early lead in this one. College A, 16-21. Morgan Flannery, Caleb Hagan, Tyler Swindell, Joey Lambright, Drew Landers, Nick Royalty, Terry Joe Hine, Mitchell Kidd, Ben Kowalewski, Doug Higgins, Joseph Urickson, Alan Rhodes, Kevin Carr, Tyler Kemp, Tyler White, Elijah Decker, Matthew Reese, Brendan Young, Justin Lord, Andy Tavelli, Riley Known, Seth Wilson, McCain Jennings, 10 seconds. John Glotta, Tanner Walker, and Bodie Lamoureux. And around we roll. 9-6-9. Bodie Lamoureux wins it. Take a whole shot. Home the checkers. Junior A, 22 plus. Steve Covert, Nick Mastrangelo, Matthew King, James Walker, Andrew Connors, Dylan Hilo, Kyle Percy, Gorick, Doug Howard, Dean Tarda, Jaden Middlewood, Doug Morse. Also Ryan Thompson, James Pat Lane, Josh Harvey, Jason Armstrong, Thomas Barrett. 10 seconds. Alan Zawadaki and Chris McAllen. So the McAllen up in Coaching all year. Monavosis, Yuri Stevens, Danny Thompson, Eric Aston, Rivas, Michael Hayes, Jason Kemps, Martin Whitty, Remit Hooley. 10 seconds. Michael Smith, Mark Varetti, Bill Jari, Jeff Ford, Chris Berry, and Sean Lembruda. Oh, a bumping action going through that first term. Number 61, Wesley Stone. He's brought to you by Stone Concepts, as well as Roll Design and Maxis, the Bet B30 Plus class. Lyle Morrison, Aaron Hendershot, Adam Sadlon, Sean Lamoureux, Yannick Mayer, William Key, Justin Kerr, John Sousa, Zachary Phillips, Mike Grossman, Timothy Streeter, Steve Barber, David Pichet, David Napo, New York Dave, as we call him, Jeff Bush, ready to roll in 10 seconds. Adam Sadlon taking the early lead in that one as we go to College B next. Donald Boylan, Brent Schaefer, Michael Anderson, Cade Vanderpool, John Calla, Darren Davies, Hunter Harris, Kirkland Bingaman, Jeffrey Middleton, David Ford, Dustin Card, Nathan Burkholder, Justin Kurthy, Dustin Dean. 10 seconds. Emily Wise, Dylan McClellan, Braxton Ray, Cole Berlew, Jason Rupp, Chase Allison, Chandler Berner, Dylan Marshman, Michael Orbello, Asen Stevens, Cole Jacquis, Joe Calla, Ryan Sherwood, Logan Weischer, Corey Vandeliner, and Cameron Abey all off and rolling in this College B class, and it's going to be 187. Michael Anderson out of Cloverdale, Indiana on Top Gun Racing GoCo Trucking BNR bag machine. And up next will be the Junior B 22 plus class. David Kite, William Wallace, Evan Timko, Jackson McGee, Willie Franklin, Andrew Phillips, Joshua Costa, Jeremy Bonderchak, Jordan Wilkins, Max Steck, Evan Soda. Also looking at John Mineham, Curtis Tarman, Anthony Simonetti, Reese Parvin. 10 seconds. Justin Zellner, Chris Ballou, Andrew Porter, Kevin Head, Grant Pick, Bryce Jenny, and Travis Zant. Our final row off and rolling here this afternoon As we resume the AMSOIL GNCC Series, it is the 4:05. Grabbing that early lead out there. See if we can get a name on that as well. Looks like Josh Cost out of North Smithfield, Rhode Island on a BNR Fly Racing Fox Shocks machine, taking the early lead in that one. And we still got just a couple of seconds here. Well, it looks like we do have a free and clear start line, so that's going to wrap things up here as far as the start is concerned. How's it going to pan out? Is Walker Fowler going to be able to capture that third championship? And will we see him on a motorcycle later this season if he does? Stick around. GNCC continues after this.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of dirt bike lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Here he is, Walker Fowler, Grand National Cross Country XC1 Pro Class Champion.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynes, and I'll be joined in a moment with Rodney Tomlin. We are out here in New Berlin, New York for round number 10. The Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC. Hard to believe summer break is over. We're back and we're ready to go racing here in the home stretch. And the stage is set, man. We're talking Walker Fowler. Can he capture his third championship in a row? Only time is going to tell. I believe I saw him coming through the motocross section. When they rolled out, it was Chris Borich capturing the whole shot. It was Walker Fowler behind him, and LW. Landon Wolfe running third. That's how things look to be from the start. I believe it was Miguel back and forth. So we'll see how this one shapes up. I saw them, just got a quick glimpse. The announcing booth is just overlooking some of the motocross section. I had a quick glimpse, and it looked like Chris Borich was still out in front of Walker Fowler, but not by much. My goodness, Walker Fowler already knocking on the door, trying to get out in front and capture his third GNCC championship. So again, want to welcome you out here, and thanks for joining us for GNCC Live, as you're getting a good look at some of the hill climbs. To give you a brief from track report from what we've heard this morning through the youth races as well as the as well as the AM ATV race. Track conditions are great. I mean, it's a short track compared to most that we race. So the biggest thing I think we took away from this morning, as you see these guys battle in the rocky section right here, the biggest thing they talked about from the AM race, from the WXC, from the Pro 4x4 guys, was just it being a short track. And as the race goes on, dealing with some of those lappers, trying to work a way around. There's not a whole lot of areas, because you can see right there's a perfect example. Not necessarily a lapper, but working through their tire to tire. So I think we're going to get a good look now, do a replay of our start from this morning or this afternoon if you're just joining us. So here we go, the RacerTV.com rapid replay. They're off and rolling. And through the gate, I don't think that was XC1. That was Jeffrey Pickens, though. So Jeffrey Pickens out there getting the whole shot. Tracy Pickens took the win this morning in the WXC class. So no harm, no foul. Good, still a good shot at the start of the race right there. Kudos to Jeff Pickens getting you a whole shot. Maybe we'll have the XC1 here in just a moment. We'll have to wait and see. But you can see these guys. We already got a rider jumping off the ATV, trying to work up this hill section. You see those rocks? I mean, they can get slick as you see them rolling down the hill right there, just creating just another element here at the Unadilla track for these riders. But again, I think the big... well, I don't think. We know what the big story is coming into this one. It's whether or not Walker's going to be able to capture that third championship. So there was Marty Christofferson coming through. We did miss some of the first riders coming through that first camera shot, so we'll try and get those in just a moment. So we're not real sure. I want to say Marty was back maybe 5th or 6th. So I think we've missed a few of those riders unless some things have shaken up. But that was a shot of Marty Christofferson, and you could see, look at the gap. No other riders in sight. And that's how it's playing out so far here in at round number 10 in the Unadilla as we get a good look through the woods section. Who have we got right here? Okay, so Walker Fowler's now out in front of Chris Borich, and we're getting a good shot. There's Walker right there. There's Chris Borich on his heels, shaking off the rust here as we get underway. And there's LW. I didn't catch who was in front of him, but LW was behind him, in 4th right there. So these guys, as they start making their way through the motocross section, but it is Walker Fowler out in front now, and Chris Borich right behind him in 2nd. So that has flip-flopped. Chris Borich getting the whole shot here this morning, and Walker Fowler wasting no time getting out in front of Chris Borich. Taking a look, they've got this not necessarily blocked off, but they've got the hay bales out there to try and slow these guys down a little bit. I thought it was something we'd see the pros take, but we do have some B riders out there. Maybe the thinking is want to slow those guys down a little bit and not have them hit at full speed. Let's take a look here. How's he going to do it? A little bit of air. We're going to see a lot more air on that one tomorrow, I got to imagine, but still impressive stuff. So, man, we talked about this just a moment ago. The bottlenecks, this hill section, these slick rocks, and it's already affecting some of our riders out there. Can't see the number plate. I don't know if that's an XC2 guy, maybe an A rider. I believe that might be an A rider, maybe a B rider. But these guys are getting bottled up here already, getting some help from the mud fleas. Not a whole lot of mud out there. Man, what a nightmare for these guys to get things started. Slow rolling. Trying to pick some different lines, but you can see all the riders over there getting bottled up. This is going to create some havoc. It's you know, you're looking at it right now, but you think about lap number 2 as our pro guys are coming around. If they start meeting some of these guys, that can shake things up. So really, I mean, it could be anybody's race. There we go. That's picking your line smart. Good work. And kudos to our GNCC mud fleas for being out there in the thick of things. There's never a shortage, that's for sure. These guys getting everybody going. He's nodding, saying, yeah, pull, keep pulling. Help me out. That's something else. All right, so they've got one down, only about, 20 more to go now. Now we're moving. Just got to wiggle with it, man. That's all you got to do right there. So coming into this one again, this is round number 10. We're coming off the summer break, trying to shake off a little of the rust maybe and get things up and rolling again. Our pro guys, I mean, this is the stretch of the season where you're going to make a difference for yourself. You've got to, you come into this focus. It's now we're going to see who took the time, not necessarily in the off season, but during the summer break, who took the time, who did the extra reps at the gym, who rode the bike the extra mile, who got the extra ride time in, the seat time. We're going to start seeing that those guys separate as this one goes on and see who's been putting in the work for real, as this is one of our last 4 races. We've got 3 more after this one. So this is round 10. We've got 13. We've still got West Virginia to go through. We've got Ohio, and then we'll wrap things up at the end of the year in Indiana at the Ironman. But the big story here this afternoon has been whether or not Walker Fowler can capture his 3rd championship, and 3rd in a row would be an impressive feat for him. He is out in front of Chris Borich. Last we saw, we had a good shot of him going through the motocross section. Not a whole lot of separation between the two. Pretty good one brewing up between them. Landon Wolfe, who was in 3rd, looked like he fell back into 4th place. I didn't quite catch who was up there in 3rd place, but we'll have some shots of that soon enough. So that's where we stand right now, and we'll keep you updated. Obviously, we'll have some scoring updates for you guys as they roll through the finish line, and we'll keep you updated on the gaps that we're seeing out there between our riders. Getting another good look. A lot of spectators there coming to check things out. So as we roll on, again, one of the things they talked about this morning, I know our top 3 out of the WXC, Angel Knox was talking about it, how this is just a bit of a shorter track. And it comes into play as the race goes on. You know, we've already seen some bottlenecks going on here in lap number 1. And there's a good look. You guys look like you're having, there we go, we got a thumbs up. They're having some fun right now. They're trying to keep warm. They're keeping warm by just sipping on some of that cold, ice-cold soda. I bet that's not soda. How much you want to bet me? But that's one of the things about Unadilla. It's a shorter track compared to what we're used to. We've already seen some bottlenecks here on lap number 1. Hey, what's going on? There's our camera guy. You look good, brother. But it's certainly going to play a factor in this one. Like we said, we've already seen some of those bottlenecks. We're going to continue to see them. How is that going to take effect for our XC1 guys as they roll through and catch up to those, working around some of those lappers, as well as our XC2 guys? We've not seen much out of those guys yet. Working around. There we go. So leaders at the finish. Walker Fowler coming through the finish line here. Getting some claps. Clapping, some cheers, got some fists in the air. So Walker Fowler's checked in. First lap time, Chris Borich. I've got Chris Borich checked in. So Chris Borich must not have been too far behind him. So Walker Fowler, our leader out there right now. Chris Borich running 2nd. That's Wesley Wolfe, who is in 3rd. Jared McClure's in 4th, and Landon Wolfe is in 5th. So there's your top 5. We've got more riders checking in now. Let's take a look. Josh Merritt checks in, 6th place right now. So Josh Merritt in 6th. So there's your top 6 riders, and waiting on the rest of the pack. That might be it for now as we pan across to the finish line. All right, let's talk separation here. Walker Fowler, his lead right now is 3.859 seconds, so just under a 4-second lead right now for him in front of Chris Borich. And if we know Walker, he likes to get out in front early, ride his own race. He doesn't like playing catch-up, so this is right where Walker wants to be. And Chris Borich, he has had some decent starts this season, but he just looks extra hungry out there. Our all-time win leader, Chris Borich, looking to maybe play spoiler today and capture this one away from Walker Fowler. Wesley Wolfe is in 3rd right now, so hats off to Wesley Wolfe. The difference there for him, 15-second gap. So our number 1 and number 2 guys out in front pretty significantly. Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure back in 4th. It's only a 2-second difference between him and Wesley Wolfe. And then, let's see, we've got Landon Wolfe in 5th. Adam Gill in 6th right now. Josh Merritt 7th. Here we go. Now we're getting some XC2 guys in there, and with the time adjustment, that'll change things up. So our XC2 guy, first guy to check in, Hunter Hart, New York's very own Hunter Hart, might I add, and New York's very own Devin Feehan, running in 9th out of the overall, 2nd out of the XC2 class. I'm going to jump down and take a look here and see what our time difference is for our XC2 guys. So we've got about a second and a half difference right now between Devin Feehan and the number 17 out of Newfield, New York, Hunter Hart. Greg Covert is in third. He is 5 seconds off the pace of Devin Feehan. So, boy, this is kind of spelling things out for us, sort of like the first round we had up here in New York at the Tomahawk. We had our top 3 XC2 riders. It was all New York guys. So now we got more New York guys. He does not agree with the penalty, shaking his head there a little bit. So not sure what that one was about, but he's off and rolling. Hey, man, you got some tape hanging from your helmet. There we go. Some more of our XC2 guys checking in right there. But Hunter Hart, your leader out in front, we saw him walking around yesterday, and he stopped me, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna see you tomorrow on that box. And I said, okay, well, it's up to you, man. He said, I'll see you center. So Hunter Hart certainly off to a good start to make that happen. Devin Feehan running second. Greg Covert, third out of the XC2. Kenny Schick is in fourth. Fifth place, Matthew Lindell. Sixth place, Brandon Eichert. And Wyatt Wilkin is your top 7 riders out of the XC2. All 7 have checked in right there. Jumping back up here to the XC1 class. Again, Walker, your leader out in front. The difference is 3.859 seconds, so just under a 4-second lead. Chris Borich is running second after the strong start with the whole shot. Wesley Wolfe running third place right now. Sneaky snake, Jared McClure is in fourth. Fifth place is Landon Wolfe. Sixth place, Adam McGill. Seventh place, Josh Merritt. Marty Christopherson. He's also out of New York, out of Richford, New York. Marty actually on the event t-shirt here this weekend for the ATVs. So if you're out here at the track, certainly head on over and pick one of those up. Ninth place is Bryson Neal. Randy Hamilton running 10th. 11th is our man, Mr. Johnny GNCC, Johnny Gallagher. 12th place is Cody Collier, and Tucker Wyatt rounds out your top 13 out of the XC1 class. So that's where we stand right now. Again, the big story coming into this one. Can Walker Fowler take a win here and solidify this this GNCC championship? That's kind of what the focus has been on.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks wondering about that. As we talked to Walker earlier this morning, he trying to keep that out of the back of his mind. He likes to come here and have a lot of fun. He doesn't want to overshadow it, I guess, and put too much pressure on himself. So he's coming out basically to go riding today. But, yeah, that third championship looms out there. There's no doubt about that. Did some mathematical calculations, and a win for Walker Fowler would basically secure it without any question whatsoever. And if he finishes second, then or any further back, basically what he has to do is beat Adam McGill by 5 points. If he can gain 5 more points over Adam McGill, then he will clinch the championship. So in essence, he really doesn't have to win, but he does have to beat Adam McGill. That's the idea behind this.
Well, and he's off to a great start. He's out there in front, which, like you said, that'll solidify everything. But even with that, Adam McGill, bit of a rough start. He's back in 6th. And hearing Adam talk this morning about Unadilla, he's like, man, I just want to get at the podium. just podium. That was what was on his mind. He's had some rough ones here in the past.
Oh, man, has he ever had to push his bike across the line? He has broke down, and just had horrible problems plaguing him. It seems like it's like the Unadilla curse for him. So basically, all he wants to do is come out and finish, and like you said, get a podium. He said, I'm not going to say I'm going for the win. All I want to do is get a podium. He says that will certainly make things here sweeter at Unadilla. He didn't even mention about the championship. I think he realizes that Walker is where he is in points right now. It's just a matter of doing the best that he can throughout the remainder of the year. If things would happen to turn in his favor, that'd be great. But right now, he's just out having fun, being Adam McGill, being the Gator.
That he is for sure, man. And he's growing the beard out. You guys obviously can't see it with the helmet on, but I think he's trying to vie for Marty Christopherson's spot with the mountain man beard.
Fear the beard. By the way, Marty Christopherson featured on the event t-shirt here at Unadilla this week. He is one of the feature riders not only here in GNCC, but also in the Western New York Off-Road Association racing, WANOA. So Need the pit crew of Logan Weiser. We need number 774 in the College B class to report to the finish line, please. Well, we got a little, as always, it seems like every time we sit down to announce the race and follow this thing along with computer time and scoring, our computer all of a sudden, I don't know what it is. It does all of its updates and its restarts while we're working. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but gives us a chance to talk a little bit and look ahead and maybe even look back a little bit. Have we taken a look at any of the last races or anything?
No, not yet. We have not looked at the highlights from the John Benton yet. I don't know if we've got those on deck and ready, but if
Adam, I don't know if you're following along in the schedule or not, but we had a schedule. So let's just watch. There went the sneaky stake McClure. He's fresh out of France, by the way, for those of you folks wondering what happened to these guys. He went with Bryson Neal and I believe Bo Barron from out west. They went to the Pont de Vue, actually finished third, believe it or not. And had they not had the issues with a rear grab bar falling off or something like that, they may have actually been in contention to win that, believe it or not. So pretty cool stuff. And you know, you look at this racetrack, you see the conditions of it right now, Mikey, and you kind of wonder, what are these guys being faced with? Is this typical Unadilla? Is it going to be hard and choppy? Is it going to be soft and sloppy? What's the course condition? What is the course like here at Unadilla? Well, we caught up with one of our junior trail bosses, Mr. Jared
Thanks,
Bolton,
guys,
to take a look at what these riders are faced with today.
Thanks, guys. We're returning to action this weekend here at the Unadilla GNCC. This track's been around for a while. Obviously, it's been around a very long time as a motocross facility, probably one of the most legendary motocross facilities in the entire world. As for GNCC, it's become obviously one of the most popular rounds of the season. This year, it's kind of the typical Unadilla track. Obviously, we've got the motocross, we've got the amateur motocross track, and the woods here are a good mix. We've got some open stuff, we've got some slower stuff, there's a little bit of rock, and the good loamy black dirt that's here is absolutely awesome. Got some fast field sections. I think this track really gives something for everybody, and that's probably why we see so many people here. It's a big turnout for a lot of fun, and I think everybody really enjoys it.
Well, there you go, man. A good overview of what this racetrack looks like as it meanders its way through the Unadilla Valley Sports Center. As you can see there, nearly 10 miles of racetrack is what these riders are facing here today, and that's gaining a lot out of a small bit of property. It amazes me how much we can squeeze into Unadilla Valley Sports Center. It's a huge facility, man, but when GNCC comes to town, it seems to certainly tighten up quite a bit, and we use every ounce of this property that we possibly can.
Yeah, you're right. And one of the things that I heard a lot of this morning, which I touched on earlier, was it is a bit of a shorter track in comparison to some of the others. It's tighter.
There's Christopherson, by the way. Marty Christopherson making his way by. I'm not sure what mile marker this is.
But one of the things I heard a lot out of the WXC class, as well as the Pro 4x4, was that they had to deal with some lappers toward the end of their race. And it might become an issue here today, or here this afternoon for the Pro Bike race. Can't expect it to really be much different. There is Bryson Neal making his way through. So Bryson Neal behind Marty Christopherson right now, as we're seeing more of our XC1 guys come up through this section.
I'll tell you, man, looking out over this landscape, the beauty of this facility is just amazing at this time of year. There comes
Hunter Hart.
Hunter Hart leading that XC2 Pro-Am class, it looks like.
Yeah, he had an early start, or an early lead, and doesn't look like he's relinquished that yet. And I don't know, that looked like Johnny Gallagher back there. I couldn't quite tell. It looked like the 1-3.
Guy's getting kind of spread out if you think about it. You know, I kind of there's Greg Covert, another New York boy. I think he's back in the number 3 spot of the class. But really kind of surprising, as tight as this track is and as many riders as there are on it, Mikey, that this race is spread out as much as it has so far. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we keep talking about it being a shorter track and being a tighter race, but so far it's seeing quite a bit of separation. We'll have to see if Still looking for the pit crew of Logan Weishart, number 774. And where do they go? To the finish line. So rider 774, Logan Weishart, to the finish line, please.
Well, there's Cody Collier making his way by on the 201 machine. Again, not sure, Chelsea, if you can let us know what mile marker this is, it'd be appreciated. And where they are in this particular lap right now.
One of the things I noticed this morning for XC2, we had a, last time we were in New York for Tomahawk, we had a New York sweep, and we're working on the same thing here this morning. It was Hunter Hart out front, Devin Feehan running second, and Greg Covert was running third out of that XC2. So, hey, maybe we'll have a little repeat of that here this afternoon at the Parts Unlimited Unadilla.
Well, trying to catch some of the numbers of these riders as they make their way through this section of racetrack there. I'm not sure, is that Fowler going through there? No, that's Johnny Gallagher. No, that's Josh Merritt. I'm sorry, the number 10. Number 10, Josh Merritt. It's tough to see on this monitor for some reason today, a little fuzzy, but Merritt, a rider that's been doing phenomenally well.
Here we go.
There we go. Sky shot.
There's some Walker Fowler moving in there. No doubt about that. We saw some of these guys. They kept some of the hay bales up to try and slow these guys down. And it did not slow down Walker at all. Not in the least.
No, not a bit. So we're going to see, I imagine, some of these guys. Look, there it is, just a little bit of a chicane. But if you can thread that needle right, just like that through there, get the speed, you might be able to actually pull off a big jump like that.
And you look at the pace that Walker Fowler had compared to what Chris Borich had through there, which was solid. But, man, when you compare it to the one that Walker Fowler had coming through, there's really no comparison at all. Walker is just a man on a mission right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a great position for Chris Borich to be in, so he can, again, get a taste of what that front pace is like out there and what it's going to take to get back into the winning ways. And, you know, though Chris is near 2 years without a win in GNCC racing and the winningest racer of all time, it's kind of ironic, kind of weird how that all works. But I believe that we will be seeing Chris Borich in the winner's circle sometime. Don't know if it'll be this year, but something tells me that he's still not finished yet for some reason.
Yeah, he's always got that. It's not the look in his eye, that look of a champion. He knows what it takes, and yeah, I don't think by any means. Just talking to him on the podium, you know, he's had some second and some third this season. He's not done. He still has that hunger and that drive to try and be the center of that box.
The thing is, though, everybody's got to try to match up to what Walker Fowler has brought to the table, and honestly, Chris can take credit for the monster that he created in Walker Fowler, because Walker would not be the champion that he is. Walker would not be the racer that he is if it wasn't for Chris Borich pushing him to those levels. If you remember back in 2014, the final round, it came down to whoever won that race between Chris Borich and Walker Fowler won the championship, and Chris Borich took a pass in the last couple of turns there. That was the last win that Chris Borich took. But what I'm saying is that basically Chris Borich created that monster he is having the race, and everybody else is out there racing with right now. It's a matter of now trying to match the monster.
Yep, and that's not been a question or a thought that too many have been able to combat this season, as Walker's, I mean, almost from start to finish, has really dominated this entire season.
All but one round where Johnny Gallagher won, man. It was the irony in that is that Walker Fowler be looking at a perfect season right now, and at this point, Johnny Gallagher would be winless throughout his career, his race career, but he does have that one win now, and he is the one, and good friends with Walker's. They won the Heartland Challenge out there a few weeks ago. He and Mark Notman, the mechanic for both Walker Fowler and Johnny Gallagher. They're all three really good friends. They all raced out there together, and Walker won his class, I think got second overall in the UTV, the side-by-side stuff. So Walker's coming gunning, man. I mean, this kid, he ain't done. He's talking about riding motorcycles. Can you imagine seeing him on an ATV, a UTV, and a motorcycle this year? Man, that'd be crazy. Not sure what's going on there, but we're getting...
Well, it had a McGill sticker, but I don't know if that's McGill or not. They're writing something.
Yeah.
521, yeah.
Yeah, that's McGill. Probably
more speed this lap, maybe. That's going to be my guess.
Yeah, he's going to have to find that speed if he wants to at all be a contender and put Walker Fowler in a position to where that championship may not come his way. Run one more lap. Well, we need to find out what that's all about, Mikey. So head on down that way. We're still kind of messed up here as far as our computer. It's still updating, getting ready. Do not turn off your computer, and I'm about ready to do that right now, as a matter of fact. But regardless, right now we watch. It's Fowler, it's Borich, it's the 741 of Wesley Wolfe, our rookie, in the third place position, believe it or not. That rider, look, you see that? Borich, position 2, minus 25. McGill, position 5, minus 45. So that must be the riders that Walker Fowler is concerned about today, as we see Mark Notman riding that on the pit board there. And what we're seeing now is that Hunter? No. I thought that might be Hunter Hart there for a second, and it very well still might be. I can't see the number on it, but that is no, that's a old Rockstar Makita replica quad we got going on there. That's a 36 machine. So neither one of our top competitors, but still looks like an older machine there. Is that? Yeah. Love the mud fleas. And again, I'm going to point out to you folks watching at home, it looks like these guys are having so much problem on this little hill, maybe a little incline with some rocks on it. But I'm going to tell you, again, the camera angle is very deceiving. If you look at it there, you can see just exactly how steep it is as the spectators are standing on the side of that hill. So another very challenging hill climb has come to light here at Unadilla Valley Sports Center, and the race fans are flocking to it in droves right now, because this appears to be the place where the race is taking place. And you can look and see this River Valley rock there, that round rock, and there is a lot of it. It'll grow all day long. It'll start popping out of the ground. It'll start rolling down the hill, and that's just another obstacle these riders here in New York have to face in GNCC. You are watching GNCC Live, and want to remind you folks to follow us on social media. Our Facebook is /GNCC Racing on Facebook. And, of course, at GNCC_Racing on the Instagram, at GNCC Racing Twitter, and at GNCC Live 7 for our Snapchat. Use the official hashtags GNCC and hashtag GNCC Live, and that way you will be able to remain in the loop of what is taking place here at this great race. There goes Walker Fowler through. We see, I think, making his way through the finish line. There's Chris Borich now, about 25 seconds, now 30 seconds off pace of your leader in Walker Fowler there. As we wrap up another lap here, that's lap 2. And again, I apologize. It seems like every time we go to do an event, our computers, we're finally in the restart stage of the computer. We'll see how long this takes, but can't keep up to date with you on what's going on from a computerized scoring aspect, but I can watch what's going on, and we can't wait to see what kind of reports we're going to. There goes Adam McGill through the pro pits now. All the way back in the number 5 position. There's Landon Wolfe in the 6th place spot aboard that number 7. He's dropped off the spot. Looks like he and McGill may have switched positions there. There's Jared McClure. McClure, I believe, has gotten around. I didn't realize that. But McClure, I didn't even realize he's now 2nd place. Borich is 3rd. So Jared McClure around Chris Borich. I thought I saw a red number plate ahead of Chris Borich there, but it just didn't dawn on me that he had gotten around. So the Snake, who, if I'm not mistaken, may have actually won here last year, is putting himself in position to take
Rodney,
win
I'll
here.
jump in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam McGill, all is good. Not the best race so far, but the run one more lap, that's for fuel. So all is good, no problems or anything. Just that was just a fuel update. So, but man, things look good down here at the pits as they're rolling through.
All righty, sounds good. Thank you very much, Mikey Waynes. As we didn't know for sure what was going on there, but to make sure we went on down just to find out for sure as we take a look at some of the fun facts here. You know, 2017 marks the 13th running of this Unadilla GNCC. And, of course, Unadilla has been hosting motocross races since the late 1960s. Also, this event is co-sanctioned with our friends of Western New York Off-Road Association, better known as WNOA in the racing world. And we always get those big numbers when we come here. We've already seen some near 800 or so ATV riders go through the scoring barrels throughout the course of the day today, and it is certainly made for some good racing. I saw Kevin Cunningham this morning, had a great 10 o'clock race. Had some pretty exciting stuff happening as well in that morning youth race. What I understand, maybe even some new faces were donning the top 5 and top 3 even, so pretty interesting day and a pretty interesting way to resume the 2017 AMSOIL GNCC season. All right, I think we might be back in business here to give you some rundowns of what's taken place. We got 2 laps of racing going. We're almost 43 minutes into this race, 42:57 now. And so that puts us right close to the halfway point. So we'll have a few more minutes before we'll be in. So here we go, ATV PM Unadilla. Okay, and there we go. And that was from 10 o'clock this morning for some reason, so we'll exit out of that. There we go, Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Chris Borch, Wesley Wolfe is 4th place right now over the motocross track. This is, again, out by Sky Shot. No riders really pulling the trigger on that one so much yet. As we see Adam McGill in 5th, Landon Wolfe is 6th. 7th is Josh Merritt, Hunter Hart in 8th. 9th place Devin Feehan, and 10th place Bryce Neal. Just got report that it looks like a 6-lap race that these riders are going to be racing. If you take a look at lap 19 minutes and 43 seconds, we're less than 20-minute lap times. So whenever you add that up, that'll put us right at that 2-hour mark with 6 laps of racing. So the boys are going to be busy today. And though it will be no longer time, I'm sure these guys are going to start to feel like the time is passing because they're generally used to riding a little longer laps and less laps. So just heads up on what to look forward to here. And there's that number 7. I thought that was the race machine, but it's not. There's the, that's what life is like right now in the pro pits. She'll know whether to, there she goes. Hi, how you doing, honey? Down here in the XC1 and XC2 pro pits, life is pretty, I guess you could say, chillax in between laps, but there's a lot of figuring going on as we make our way down through here. I know when we went past Coastal, didn't seem to be as busy in the pits as it is out in the woods, as they've got a whole team out in the woods right now that is helping combat this race. Along, same thing with Walker Fowler. He's got several folks out there that is helping him, and that's just the way the whole teams work. They keep an eye out for their riders. They let the teams know where they're at, if there's any problems, things like that. And that's what Coastal is doing. So most of these teams have got people in the woods while they have folks posted at the trailer itself in case the rider has to come in early, maybe ditch off the track someplace at, say, the 5-mile marker, go back, fix something, then go back to the 5-mile marker. There's always somebody there. They try to keep somebody in their pro pits at all times, but at the same time, they've got a great team out there. Mikey, guess what? We just popped back up fully with our scoring monitor.
Oh, great.
Through all this.
2 laps in.
Yeah. So Fowler, McClure, Borch, Wolfe, McGill, your top 5. It is Landon Wolfe in 6th, Josh Merritt in 7th, Hunter Hart is your XC2 Pro-Am leader, and he is running 8th place overall with Devin Feehan, the number 16 in 3rd place position. 1.9 seconds at the end of lap 2 Bryson Neal, 10th overall. After time adjustments, we see him on the number 5. Marty Christopherson is 11th place overall. Marty is featured on the event T-shirt. Also a first-year rookie XC1 racer. Greg Covert, the number 9, is 3rd in the XC2 Pro-Am class. He is 12th overall right now. Johnny Gallagher, 13th overall aboard the 13. We see Matt Lindell, the 303, had a great ride out at Heartland Challenge as well at Muscatine, Iowa. That's his home state. He is running in the 4th place position of the XC2. Cody Collier, 201 and 16th. Out of Carroll, Ohio, Kenny Schick, XC2 Pro-Am, 5th place right out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 17th overall. Robbie Pecorari, your vet A28 plus class rider, 18th overall with Big Papa B. Jeff Pickens, the 36 out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania, in 2nd place of that class. He's 19th overall. Gabriel Nod out of California is now 6th place and 20th overall in the XC2 Pro-Am, but overall he is 20th. And if we take a look at some of our top amateurs, you want to start doing it now. It looks like vet hay riders are the ones that are vying for that right now. And Pecorari and Jeff Pickens, 1.015 seconds separated those two when they came through the finish line there a few moments ago. This is going to be a good one, my friend.
Papa B captured the whole shot this morning too. And Robbie Pecorari, there's a guy I've always find myself pulling for. He races the Pro 4x4s in the morning. And it seems almost every race this season he comes out and he is just, I mean, having one heck of a lap or two, and then something happens and he falls back. And man, that was the story today. I was really pulling for him. He was up there in 2nd, and just like before, he kind of started falling back. And I thought, here we go again. So if he could get that top amateur, that'd be all right.
Are we saying his name right, Pecorari?
I say Pecorari. I don't know, maybe Pecorari.
I thought it was Pecorari. I don't know. And you Pecorari. Robbie, the 227.
Right, that's my go-to.
There's Walker Fowler as he makes his way past this section of racetrack. Again, I'm not sure what mile marker it is. Hopefully we'll get Chelsea or Flash to let us in on this, because we got a double shot right here, Mikey, and it gives us a good idea of how far these guys are ahead of each other, and gives us some mile 4.5. What about the other side, Adam? What is it? 3.3. So they're, and 6.5 for the sky shot. So this is 4.5. The left side of that is the 3.3. So we got some distance in between these shots. So it gives us a chance to see what the race is really starting to, how it's starting to affect and break down on these guys, I guess, after only a mile. It's about 3 minutes or so a mile on average is what these riders run. So as these guys go through, and we just got a whole slew of them going through. That was, McClure, Borch, Wolfe, and Wolfe, I believe, was in there. Landon Wolfe back up into the number 5 spot behind, no relation, in Wesley Wolfe, old WW, LW, and WW going at it out there right now.
That's how it was to start. That's how it is at this point, is these guys making their way around the track. I'm going to try and get a shot live and in person of them coming through the motocross section, but
right here they
just can't quite see it.
4.5, so we'll give them another 5 or so minutes before we'll expect to see them at Sky Shot, which is about the 6.5 mile marker. Oh, it's so much more relative now. Makes so much more sense.
And how many laps did you say the race was?
We're a 6-lap race. We're running on average right now about 20-minute laps for Walker Fowler. I mean, he is 2 laps into this, almost 3 laps in. He is less than 8 minutes out. So we'll see them at Sky Shot, and then shortly after, we're going to see them at the finish line. I mean, that's how quick. We got some really good camera shots. I guess 10-mile course, and what happens is there's a lot of this weaving back and forth, and they get to come close to each other so we can get multiple shots out there from some of our camera angles. So it's working out quite nicely. Way to go, track crew. And there is some of that nasty mud, and it's nothing like what we could expect it to be, knowing the rain that has fallen here over the course of this summer. I mean, all year long, it's just miserable. Like it's almost like an October day here. You look out, some of the trees are starting to change colors. The foliage is starting to see a little hint of fall in that, and these temperatures are more of an indicator of October rather than September. And Greg Robinson is as surprised as anyone. He lives here in New York.
It certainly feels, I mean, I come from the Midwest, but for sure it does feel like a late October day almost.
He said this morning, he said, welcome to October 7th instead.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Sure feels like it.
Yeah, that's for sure. But we don't want to wish our lives away because we'll be 2 races in. Maybe Walker will have already captured the championship or something happened. And Adam McGill is knocking on the door and maybe inching towards possibly winning that championship. You never know. I mean, crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
But likelihood is we'll be crowning a champion here today if we see consistency like we have seen this year, the year before, the year before, the year before, the year before. But there is always that outside chance that something inconsistent happens and wham, crazy things go.
Chris Borich, man, is all over the heels of Jared McClure right now. Just gunning for him right now for that second place spot. When I was over at the pits there just a moment ago, I talked to Fowler's pit crew, and I said, so you guys going to be celebrating today? And they said, well, it's still too early to tell, but as of right now, Walker is doing what he needs to do to make it happen. But big kudos to him. He's doing what needs to be done on his part to try and get this win out here today. What I was saying, Rodney, was while I was in the pits, I stopped by Fowler's pit and asked Mark, I said, so is today celebration day? And he's like, well, it's still too early to say. So
you know,
it is.
It's real, you know, and I appreciate that out of Mark. I mean, I'm sure like he and everyone else, we expect that that's likely what's going to happen, but we also expect that anything can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, this is GNCC racing, and just because and I think Walker said it best, not going to count my chickens before they hatch.
Yep.
And rightfully so. Out here at Sky Shot now, I believe they said 6.5 mile marker, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be keeping an eye out for your leaders rolling through this section of the track, and that is your leaders. That's McGill, or excuse me, that is not McGill. That
McClure.
is McClure. I got the McCart and Borich for that number 2 and 3 spot. How much of a gap do they have now open over the 741 and the 007 of Landon Wolfe, the Wolfe boys? No relation. And Adam McGill, as we said, has dropped back to at least a 6th place position, at least according to timing and scoring for the moment. However, I'm wondering if maybe Adam might be one of those riders that has the transponder not working as well as it should. But I did see the 7 not far behind the 741, so Adam has dropped back. Oh, so Adam does have a bad transponder, but I think he's right there. So Landon's right there with Adam and Wesley right now. So we've got a really good 3-way race going on for 4th place, or we did it last check. We got a good battle going on for 2nd between McClure and Borich. However, up front, Walker Fowler is just gone. And, you know, say it, you know, sugarcoat it however you want, fluff it up however you want. It's almost like U-Haul. Salmonen back in 05 and 06 whenever he came here from Finland and kind of raised the bar and set the level for motorcycle racing as we know it today. I mean, that's the kind of wins we're looking at and the consistency we're looking at. And no, U-Haul didn't win every single race, like Walker hasn't won every single race so far this year. He's only lost 1. But Walker's actually got a better track record than U-Haul did on the win process anyway. But regardless, I mean, it's just saying, I mean, you can't take anything away from Walker. You can't hype anything else up about anybody else. When you look at the gap after 2 laps of racing, 40 minutes basically, 30 seconds separating 1st and 2nd, I think that's the tail of the tape right there.
Yeah, exactly. And you're getting a look at them working their way through that motocross section. It's almost poetic as Walker goes through it. We saw it a moment ago early on in the race when Chris Borich was not too far off his pace. When you watch, and there's, speaking of which, there's Chris Borich right there, as we saw Walker just going through this section a moment ago. But when you watch these guys and Walker's just, there's no way around it. He's on another level right now.
For sure. And whether these guys or when these guys will be able to match it are the questions, you know, right now. And I honestly believe it's not a matter of whether they can, it's a matter of when they will.
Yeah.
We watched Walker Fowler basically inspire an entire generation of ATV racers through the youth ranks and into the right on into the pro ranks. I mean, through the amateur ranks and into the pro ranks. I mean, he inspired an entire generation of youth racers, and those include guys like Bryson Neal, that is in his class right now, Hunter Hart, who's back in the XC2 Pro-Am class right now, also riders like Devin Feehan, Greg Covert. Those guys all been inspired by Walker Fowler, while the rest of the crew is watching Walker Fowler sneak up and steal their thunder, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe it might be another year or 2 or 3 before we start to see some of these names pop up in there, like Hart and Feehan, and even Bryson Neal. He has the potential and the ability to do it. It's just a matter of getting things together. And Greg Covert and CODY COLLIER and all those guys that have been inspired, are those the guys that it's actually going to take to challenge Walker Fowler for a championship? Right now, I hate to say it, but that's what it's looking like, and I don't want to take anything away from Adam McGill, don't want to take anything away from Chris Borch or anyone else out there on that starting line, but that's the way it looks right now. Prove me wrong if it upsets you is all I got to say.
No easy task by any means.
Right. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see Marty Christopherson or we see Chris Borch, as far as that goes, find that new life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in his mid to upper 30s at this particular point, but you got to look at John Natale on the ATV motocross side of things and Joe Bird, both racing well into their 40s. I know John raced till he was like 42 years old. Joe Bird, 44 years old, racing AMA Pro ATV motocross. And honestly, John Natale taking this year off, reports are he'll be back next year. And at 43 years old, that man will be a contender for wins and a possible championship. So don't count out Chris Borch because, oh, he's getting old. No, he's getting craftier is what's happening. And it's going to get better. It will. And I believe that we're going to see some of these other riders like Jared McClure. We've already seen glimpses of greatness out of him. He is a rider that is capable of stepping up to Walker Fowler's level sometimes. Want to remind everybody to check your social media, Instagram, and we have a photo there. It's the AMSOIL Instagram contest going on. Basically, find that on Instagram, the GNCC Racing one, and you'll be able to comment on that and possibly win some great prizes from AMSOIL, $250 in great AMSOIL products. So good luck to you. Check your Instagram and check out what's going on with the photo. Comment on that, and you could be a winner. All right, let's see some of these other classes. By the way, Instagram is at GNCC_racing. All of our other social media at GNCC Racing for Twitter and GNCC Racing there on Facebook. Looks like we're just a couple moments late here at the finish line, but not much. He slowed down by a minute or so, according to what I'm looking at. 19:43 was his lap time last time around.
Right there.
Checks in 20:29, so about 45 seconds he slowed down. Wondering if he was expecting to see a 2-lap board, not realizing that they're only 1 hour, not even 1 hour into this race. There is Borch and McClure. McClure is just ahead of Borch, and actually, Borch is back ahead of McClure, 17 seconds behind Walker Fowler. Hey, hey, that was 30 seconds a lap ago. Lap traffic. Lap traffic is starting to play in this one. There goes Walker Fowler in and out of the pits. A good pit stop for him, it looks like. Here comes now the number 3 of Chris Borch. He is in. A quick splash of gas and has gained nearly, we'll call it 13 seconds. It's a 17-second gap between he and Walker Fowler. Jared McClure checked in only 2.4 seconds behind Chris Borch, so that puts him to within 20 seconds as well of Walker Fowler, and all of a sudden, this race day got a little more exciting.
Yeah, Chris Borch, man, on pace. We keep talking about Walker, man, on a mission. Now Chris Borch looks like the guy who's out there on a mission right now. Pretty good pit for him, good pit for Walker. We're really impressed with Borch getting out of there in a timely manner that he did. And like we said, these lappers playing a factor. Maybe that's going to open up a window for Chris Borch to maybe get back in this thing.
What's going on with Adam McGill right now? I mean, he has dropped back to 6th place. And, well, maybe he might be 5th place. We'll double check that. Landon Wolfe is also in, we see there. Adam McGill, the Gator, I believe, is having transponder issues. So right now we're only seeing him with 2 laps complete. So as soon as they update that, we'll let you know. We see that Bryson Neal is, wow, Neal has moved up in the overall. The thing we got to remember, though, when the XC2 Pro-Am start checking in those time adjustments, we might start seeing those guys slip in between. Just to give you an idea, that could put Hunter Hart in a much better situation, closer to a top 5 overall. There goes Bryson Neal through now. I think we got him scored in about a 7th place position, if I'm not mistaken. And who else has come through the finish line? Don't see that Josh Merritt, still waiting for him, still wait. Actually, Merritt is through the 710 machine. Hunter Hart should be checking in here in a moment. And that's the XC2 Pro-Am class battle. See if we can pull up the time deficits and so forth that we could expect to see out of those guys.
That might have been Hunter Hart that came through. Couldn't quite tell.
Let's see.
Maybe a little bit too early.
Hunter Hart is about 20 seconds late right now. And as our computer updates, see if we can get this right.
There's Hunter.
There is Hunter.
Working around, shaking his head, working around some lappers. That guy letting him by, no problem.
So Hunter losing about 45 seconds this lap as well, as he drops to a 21-minute flat lap time at 21.260.
Hunter getting the pit right now. New pair of goggles, getting some fuel, a little rehydration, shaking his head back and forth. Yeah, right there again. It's just, I think he's got some frustration going on, trying to work around a lot of those lappers, especially as he was coming right in there to the finish.
Well, just give you a heads up, folks, say that what about your lap? Well, XC1 and XC2 should pit in their pro pits where they're assigned. Well, he doesn't have a pro pit on pit road, so they assign him a pit spot outside of pit road. So that's why you see him pitting there and not in pro pits. So just to give you an idea and a heads up on that. He's not cheating.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Because if you follow the rules and you say, well, was that actually legal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, because Hunter doesn't have a pit spot in the pro pits, and that's why. So Hart is leading. He has now a 9-second lead over Devin Feehan. That has, wow, that's an 8-time bigger lead than he had just a lap ago. 8 seconds, that's right. There were only 1 second that separated those two, almost 9 seconds, so almost 9 times farther ahead than he was. Sounds monumental, but it's only 9 seconds. Devin Feehan still waiting on Greg Covert right now. He was about 35 or so seconds back. Again, we see that these front runners have slowed down. We see a 21:07 for Feehan. We've seen that Walker Fowler had slowed down to a 20:29. He was in the 19-minute and 40-some second range there. So basically, I think that I would have to think that the traffic is starting to pick up a little bit on these guys in some of the more critical areas. And like Walker Fowler said in his interview earlier today, these New York guys, they don't like to give up a position on the racetrack, whether it be a lapper, whether they're lappers or not. They're out there for the long haul and for the fight of it all. If you want around them, you got to fight your way around these lappers. And it's suggested that these guys maybe give the front runners a little leeway in going through, and most oftentimes they do, especially when they learn who it is. But oftentimes they don't even look back. They just know somebody's breathing down their neck, and they just race. That's what I love about it, man. They are. Yeah. They get down to the nitty-gritty. You know, it's funny. Look at those rocks, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You think about New York, you think about asphalt and pavement, you think about New York, you think about the Bronx, and this and that. Upstate New York and the rest of New York is nothing at all like that at all. So, yeah, it's and this is what you go from the pavement of New York City to this out in the upstate New York area, at least in the River Valley regions. This is such a diverse and beautiful state, and these guys up here, man, there are some hard knock type people out here. They've had some tough times throughout their life. They live in the country, a lot of them do. They work on farms, they do construction work. They do what we expect in the Midwest. We don't expect to see that up there, but this is what most of these guys up here in New York They're hard workers, and they prove it in the racing efforts, I believe, to be honest with you.
That's for sure.
But looking at that track, a lap ago, I had made mention of that hill climb, and was talking about how this hill climb was very challenging, going to become more and more challenging as the day wore on. Look how many more rocks are exposed here now than just one lap ago. It is a totally different looking race course as these riders come around on lap number 4.
Yeah, it's changed from one lap to the next. They've moved a lot of that dirt and that mud out of the way, and now we've just got some slick rock. We saw a few shots back, those rocks just sliding down that hillside, and I don't know that the camera really does this hill justice.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying there. I mean, we got a really good shot. We saw some of the guys standing along it, and it gave it a little bit more better perspective than what we could have, and than what that particular shot right there was showing us. Here we are. That was the 4.4, right?
Well, this says mile 3, so that's the other side of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. So it wasn't it what? 4.4 and 6.5.
Now it's saying 3.3.
Yeah, 3.3.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the 3.3 side. The 4.5 side, that side going away from us. 3.3 is coming at us. So what we'll see is these guys, like that rider right there, that is the number 3 of Chris Ford, second place ride. We missed, I didn't see him go by anyway. Walker Fowler going by there. So a few minutes from now, we're going to see them coming back out by the 4.5 or 4.6, whatever mile mark. It's the 4 something, regardless, and we'll be able to tell a little bit more about what's going on there. There is another one of those machines that looks like was that Wesley Wolfe?
I think that was Wesley Wolfe, 741.
So did McClure get back around Borch, and I miss him too, or is Wolfe, Wesley, really starting to reel these front runners in? And you know what? We might see a challenge if this is the kind of things we'll see out of Wesley, and he's very capable of doing that. We just haven't seen it here, I think, in his rookie season.
Yeah.
There's Landon Wolfe, LW right there. That is your 6th place ride. Seen a couple of guys going by in between there, so Wesley could be up to about a 4th or so spot, 3rd place position. I don't know. We'll know more when they come through the other side over here, I believe. So we'll give them just a minute or so. We'll watch for Walker and those guys to check in. Back out at Sky Shot. This is a 6.5, which we just check in with some of the traffic out here at Unadilla and get a chance to see some of these riders traversing this amazing course. Trans-America races, man, I mean, back in the late 60s. All the way through today. We saw Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship here not much more than a month ago.
And rain.
Yeah, it rained.
So much rain. I wasn't here, but I saw a lot of the photos and video. There goes Fowler. Don't blink.
Fowler.
And then there was rain here for ATVMX too, right?
Yes.
So we're pretty fortunate. This is all right.
Yeah, we did get it on Friday. I think we stayed dry for most of the Saturdays and Sunday. But, wow, kind of like this, man. It rain's coming in, and a little bit of rain overnight. There's McClure. So we see McClure is 2nd. That is starting to stretch out just a little bit. This lap traffic's starting to make things tougher to follow, I think, to be honest with you. So we'll get this, the bird's eye view. Was that, well, we'll see Top Pro Racing anyway. The number 3 of Chris Borch, there he is. And now, what was that, or who was that behind him is what we're trying to figure out. Was that the 741 of Wesley Wolfe that had somehow gotten around, or was that maybe a lapped rider that had a machine that looked similar to Wesley's? Of course, Wesley changes up his machines on me all the time. There he goes again. I don't know.
Still couldn't quite see him. But that looked, was
like
that McGill behind him?
Behind him, and if you look at the lap here, Wesley Wolfe was 0.078 behind Adam McGill. So that makes sense. Wesley Wolfe up to 4th, Adam McGill now into the number 5 spot. So that makes perfect sense. So we were right, believe it or not, for a change.
All right. Man, that feels good.
Mark that one down, somebody. Somebody
there goes LW.
Somebody with a pen and paper, mark that down for me. Just email it to me or something. I got something right for a change on this scoring monitor, or on this TV monitor. We have a red Ford truck with a Dobbs trailer and a gray Chevy parked in the main road, right behind the TV trailer by the concession stand in that area. There's a lot of congestion as folks are trying to come in and out. You need to move now, period. No questions. They will move it. They're going to give you like 5 minutes. Actually, I don't even know if they're going to give a whole 5, but you got close to 5 minutes to get that thing moved. They're hooking. They got the tractor on the way. I heard them talking about it on the radio. So get it moved, or they're moving it for you. And you might have to get it out of the impound yard. And you know what Unadilla impound cost? It's like $250 if you get your vehicle impounded here, man. It's crazy. Greg Robbins, don't mess around, man. You park in the wrong place. Says the fire marshal gets upset. He's going to make sure you pay for it. So here we go out at Sky Shot. We'll be seeing our leaders come through here in just a few moments. And again, this race is so spread out, but honestly, it's kind of neat, the changes that we have been seeing. We saw, obviously Walker, but Chris Borich and McClure. Borich was only 17 seconds behind Fowler at one point, and McClure was only 2 seconds behind Borich, and now it looks like maybe that gap's starting to open back up again as McClure and Borich hit that lap traffic. McClure got back around Borich. Borich drops to third. Now we see Wesley Wolfe has gotten around McGill. He is closing in on Chris Borich in a possible podium position. There's there's the number 1 of Walker Fowler. I'm sorry. Don't know why I said Adam McGill, but anyway, again, 17 seconds is what it was at the end of lap 3, and it's not a whole lot more than that as McClure makes his way up the hill. So we're probably in that 20-25 second range. I didn't actually do the clock on that one, but regardless, Mikey, things are settling into a pace right now, I think, for these riders. Fowler, McClure, and Borich should be coming through soon, and then we're going to get to see right here. There's Chris Borich. He's dropped about 20 seconds now down to McClure, it looks like, for some reason. Lap traffic getting stuck, a little sideways in the track. A number of things can happen. Pan back real quick to see where Wesley Wolfe is, and the 521, as we'll wait here. A little shaky on the shot, but this is the shot that we're looking for right now.
My goodness.
Walker Fowler, there he goes. He skies it out big time that time, man. He threaded that needle between the...
So that's Wesley Wolfe in front of Adam McGill right there.
Yep. So we do have Wesley, as we had been saying, in that number 4 position. So we are golden on that. Wesley is still maintaining that as he approaches that 3rd place position where Chris Borich sits as this race wears on. I know that he's going to get super excited. He's one of those guys that, I'm telling you, he can let it all hang out. If you follow Walker Fowler's career, sometimes he would ride over the ragged edge.
It's ridiculous.
And he was able to do it. Rarely did it come back to bite him. Same thing goes for Wesley Wolfe. We haven't seen him do that so much this year in XC1 because he's still just trying to figure it all out. But I think now, after the summer break, after the ATV motocross season's over and he can focus only on this, we might see a whole different rider in these final 4 rounds. And I tell you, Wesley is one of those riders like Walker that can ride the ragged edge, can ride over the ragged edge for an extended period of time and do it safely.
It's impressive to watch, and haven't seen him do both. Go to the ATV MX and come here and do what he's done in GNCC as a rookie. It's pretty impressive, and I think you're absolutely right. I think now that he's got ATV MX, the season's over for him. All his focus is here in GNCC. We're getting reports that Borich is down on the Sky Shot. But I don't think we've got, that might explain why everybody's looking that direction.
Yeah, not sure.
So we might have Borich down over there.
Doesn't appear to be anything too frantic right now. I don't see anything, so hopefully it broke shock. Nothing to worry about other than a broken shock, so that's good news. Aside, thankfully, when they said Chris is down on the Sky Shot, I was like, oh Lord, I hate to hear those types of things, and just to know that it's a mechanical issue is so much better. And I'm sure they probably slamming that thing pretty hard coming down over Sky Shot.
Sure.
So I'm sure, I'd say it took its toll on it over time.
But it does open the door for Jared McClure and Adam McGill now.
Well, and Wesley Wolfe.
And Wesley Wolfe,
that puts Wesley
who we were
Wolfe.
just talking about.
I mean, he just inherited third-place position, brother. That's top 3 as an XC1 Pro Class rookie here at the GNCC.
It doesn't get much better than that. That's got to feel good. A lot of racing left, but he's right there. I mean, it can happen.
There's Hunter Hart now, as it looks like he has once again regained that rear bumper, and Devin Feehan from now 8.9 seconds right back to that less than a second battle between those two riders in the battle for the XC2 Pro-Am class right now. Man, Hunter Hart has got to be thinking, let up a little bit, man. Give me some breathing room here for just a minute. But knowing these guys, I know that he, those two, and Greg Covert, those three there, and Marty Christopherson are all top riders in Wainoa.
Oh, yeah.
So they've spent the entire summer just like that right there, I believe. And every time that we watch them race, it seems like they find each other on the racetrack, and they take themselves in this sport, I believe, to new levels and new limits out there. Once again, we need the Dobbs Racing truck, red Ford with a Dobbs Racing trailer on it, and a gray Chevy parked out here by the concession stand TV trailer. If you're parked on the main road area anywhere, you are not in the right place. You need to go and move that immediately. That was your last call. They will tow it. They are going to tow it. There, now Hart is by himself again as they roll on to the, no, he's not.
Nope. There he is.
That was so deceiving.
Rear suspension.
So we just got report from Digital Dave. It is suspension. The rear suspension is broke on Chris Borch's bike. That is exactly what the issue and the problem was. What a heartbreaker there for him. But it could be the dawning of a new era for this now third-place ride in Wesley Wolfe. This could be the first of what could be many podiums on the horizon for the 741 machine. But again, we still have a little ways to go, about 42 more minutes or so to go, as we're an hour and 18 minutes, working on an hour and 19 minutes now into this race. So probably, what we got, 4, 5. This will be lap 4 in the history books. We'll take lap 5. That'll put us at about the 1 hour and 45 minute mark, and right at 2, a little past the 2 hour mark. Wow, they had to go 6. They could not go. They could not.
No.
They had to go 6. They could not go the 5 laps to make that work. They would have been too short. That would have put the race at 20 minutes short of 2 hours, and that is not the way that it happens here in the GNCC Racing Nation. Well, lots of things happening as we are about an hour and 20 minutes into this race now. Walker Fowler continues to show he's the boss on 4 wheels. Borch is out. McClure in second. And old WW, Wesley Wolfe, going for his first podium. Can he hang on to it? Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this.
Hey, this is Walker Fowler, and you're watching RacerTV Live.
Well, folks, just want to remind you, stop on over to the French Pizzeria. The New York Pizzeria, our good friends here with us. Concessions being located right here.
Bush Light.
Just by Vendors Row. And not only that, you can stop down to the New York Pizzeria just south of where we are right now in New Berlin for a full sit-down restaurant. Also, don't forget about our concession stand from Unadilla. Unadilla concession stand open. Got some great food going on there. Plenty of cold drinks to wash it all down with. And also, Unadilla memorabilia trailer is open. You can get all your official Unadilla merchandise right
Losing
there.
is not an option for me.
At the Unadilla
Be the best, the best,
trailer.
the best.
You know, for over 75 years, racing enthusiasts have trusted the Weisco name to signify the finest aftermarket performance parts of the industry.
Kinetic gasket.
Kinetic gasket.
Kinetic gasket.
As serious as Weisco takes their name.
Kinetic gasket. A superior quality gasket for those of us who demand the highest level of
carry
performance.
the name you can trust.
White's
I'm
Coat.
Barry
One
Hawk,
name,
8-time GNCC champion, current Coastal Racing team manager. Coastal Racing depends on Evans coolant because there is a lot of variables in GNCC racing. Toughest, most demanding sports there is. From my experience, without a doubt, Evans is the way to go. We have it in all of our race bikes, our race ATVs, our UTVs. It is for sure, without a doubt, a must on our race team. The pros use Evans coolant, and so should you.
Mikey Waynes along with Rodney Tomlin. We're here for round number 10 of the AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series for the Parts Unlimited Unadilla. And we have had, well, the Walker Fowler show out front, but the rest is yet to be written here.
Yes, it is. And speaking of that, what is going to be written? Well, a historical championship possibly on the horizon right now. Walker could finish a couple positions back and still be able to take the win, as McGill is, I believe, 4th place now as he moved up one. But Fowler, McClure, and I believe it is Wolfe and McGill, followed by Land and Wolfe to round out the top 5. We'll be finding this out here in just a moment. Our leaders are due in. Actually, they've already checked in. I'm looking at this thing. It says 1 minute and 6 seconds. My thing's not updating, but they did go through. I'm sorry. And we'll give you the official update as soon as... There it is. Fowler, McClure, 31 seconds separating the two. Walker ran a consistent lap at 20 minutes, 23 seconds. That was consistent to the lap prior to that. Jared McClure, a 20:35. He slowed down about 15 seconds. Now the gap is 31.4 seconds between first and second. And nearly a minute back, Wesley Wolfe is in 3rd place. But get this, Wesley Wolfe, well, wait a minute. We got to get Adam McGill's transponder. As soon as Adam McGill gets transponded back in, the way it looks, Landon Wolfe is 42 seconds behind Wesley Wolfe right now. So somewhere in between there, Adam McGill sits in the standings, even though it's not necessarily showing that at this moment. Again, Chris Borich out of this, at least for the moment. He may try to get that shock fixed and back out into the race. I'm not real sure what that AMSOIL Maxxis banked rider has got up his sleeve here today. But I think that we're probably safe enough to do a mid-state Chevy midway report. I'm going to do a quick one here for us real quick there, Mikey, because I don't know, things just seem to be not on track today. So we're going to try to get ourselves a little bit better on track right now. And, well, not for us. I mean, everything's on track. It's just, it's crazy, man, how this first race back can just seem so unfamiliar sometimes, you know?
Shaking the rust off.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, here's the way we're looking. This is after our leaders are in after 4. The rest will be mainly after 3. But it's Fowler, McClure, Wolfe, McGill, and Landon Wolfe. Bryson Neal in 6th. Josh Merritt in 7th. Then Chris Borich would be checking in there at some point, but he's not right now anyway. So that has got things completely changed around there. So we won't even worry about the overall right now. We're going to go right into this Mid-State Chevy Midway report. Your XC2 Pro-Am class, Hart, Devin Feehan, Greg Covert, 1, 2, and 3. Last time around, Hunter Hart and Devin Feehan were 8 seconds apart as they go through the finish line. As we speak, they are 1.188 seconds apart. And there you have it. 1 minute and 30 seconds back was Greg Covert last time. Matt Lindell, the number 303 from Iowa, in 4th place. Kenny Schick, the 31 out of Newcastle, PA, is 5th. 6th place, Gabe Nod out of California. Welcome out, Gabe. Rippin Tragedy, I can't even say Rippin Tragedy, California. But anyway, Levi Cohen, the number 33, he took the whole shot in this class out of Millfield, Ohio. 8th place, Brandon Eichert out of Hickory, North Carolina, the 441. 9th place, 621, Wyatt Wilkin out of Hillsboro, Ohio. And 10th place, 79, Kenneth Kelly out of Daly, West Virginia. Yes. So Hart leading after 4 laps with Feehan right there. So we continue in the Mid-State Chevy Midway report. By the way, they stack them deep and sell them cheap. For guys like College A Rider, if he wants to go get him a good truck, he can get it at a good price. Ben Kowalewski out of Great Bend, Pennsylvania, 5-second lead over the early leader in this class, the 969 of Bodie Lamoureux out of Windsor, New York. 712, John Glotta from Waxhaw, North Carolina is third. Fourth place, the number 50, Caleb Hagan out of Tompkinsville, Kentucky. Fifth place, 328, Joseph Yerkson out of Champion, Pennsylvania. Sixth place, 517, McCain Jennings out of Algonia, Iowa. Seventh place, 329, Alan Rhodes from Harpersville, New York. Eighth spot, 217, Drew Landers out of Monterey, Tennessee. Ninth place, Tyler Swindell out of Canby, Indiana. Jared Lambright out of East Palestine, Ohio. Rounds out your top 10 College A class riders. Steve Covert, the 25, leading the Junior A class out of Ithaca, New York. Nearly a hometown boy. He's not far from here. Aaron Grodzinski out of Sellersville, PA, the 777 is second. 41, Matthew King out of Southwick, Massachusetts in third. Brent Henke, the rider from Vienna, West Virginia, number 896 in fourth place. 831, Brody Livingood out of Falling Waters, West Virginia in fifth. Then James Mogg out of Williamstown, New Jersey at sixth. The 189, 440, Thomas Barrett out of Morrisville, New York in seventh. Eighth, Zachary Dean out of Addison, New York. Ninth, Jade Millwood from Cleveland, Georgia. And 10th place, Alan Zawadotsky out of Elma, New York on the 601. Zawatsky, I believe is how you say that. Zawatsky, Alan Zawatsky, Junior A, 10th place ride. Jeff Pickens, Big Papa P, the 36 out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania, 23-second lead now over the 227 of Robbie Picarari out of Aston, PA. I think that's changed around a little bit. They were a lot tighter. I think Robbie was out front earlier, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was actually fighting for the top amateur spot.
So we'll check in with the overall coming up here shortly. But right now, Pickens back out front of Pecorari. Corey Blinkowitz is the 39 in third place. He is out of Elwood City, Pennsylvania. Bealsville, Ohio. Adam Reed, the 870 in fourth. Fifth place, Tommy Kuntz. A.J. Kuntz, as a lot of folks know him by. The 28 out of Fayetteville, Pennsylvania. Uniontown, Pennsylvania. The Marlboro Man is Todd Muscala, the 86. He is sixth place. Eric Vallejo, the 425 out of Perkymundville, Pennsylvania in seventh. Mark Potter, the 437 eighth. Cortland, New York, ninth place. 973, Rich Williams out of Bloomingdale, New Jersey. And 444, Kevin Patterson from Barberville, New York. That's your Vet A 28 plus class. Senior AB 38 plus 370. Danny Thompson from Elma, New York leading. The 730 of Chris Berry out of Munfordville, Kentucky. There's only, there's 2 minutes separating those guys. I thought there was only 0.3 of a second there. 445, Michael Hayes out of Rocky Face, Georgia in third. 544, Rimmet Hooley out of Drummondville, Quebec, Canada. In fourth place, the 439, Adam Rivas out of Monticello, New York. Derek S. in Tweed, Ontario, Canada, the 374 in sixth place. Seventh place, 415, Jeff Packer from Binghamton, New York. Eighth place, the 925, Sean Lambruna out of Attica, New York. Kyle Lawrence, the 384 from Rushville, New York. And Mike Stevens, the 367, rounding out your top 10. Cameron Abey leading the College B class. Abey from Union, South Carolina, the home of the Big Buck in this year's season opener. He's got a 17.5-second lead now over Cade Vanderpool, the 356 from Iowa. 187, Michael Anderson from Cloverdale, Indiana. Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, home to Dylan McClellan, the 432. In fifth place, 540, Chandler Berner from Bellington, West Virginia. Sixth place, Corey Vanderliner from Millerton, Pennsylvania. Seventh place, the 419, Miss Emily Wise. Yes, Miss Emily Wise from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. She's seventh. Eighth place, 404, Dustin Eichert out of Freeville, New York. Ninth place, 413, Nathan Burkholder out of Denver, Pennsylvania. 10th place, 713, Michael Orabello from East Islip, New York. And just to give you an idea, that's seventh place for Emily Wise out of well over 20 riders in the College B class right now. Junior B class, Joshua Costa out of North Smithfield, Rhode Island, along with Jackson McGee from the same place on the 359. They're running 36.5 seconds apart. First and second. Old Reese Cup, Little Reese Parvin, not so little anymore. Boy's getting big on the number 500 out of Akron, Ohio. He is third place. I think he's told me at John Penton they had 8 different winners in this class. He was one of them. There had been 8 different winners in this class, and there was a lot of folks that were vying for this championship. He's one of them. Actually, I think he's the point leader in the class, but he's riding in third place right now. But can you imagine 8, maybe 9 different winners now heading into this 10th round of racing?
It's as competitive as a class as it comes.
I believe you're absolutely right in that. Andrew Phillips, the 400 out of Canandaigua, New York, is fourth place. William Wallace out of Street, Maryland, in fifth place aboard the 235. 642, Bryce Jenny from Milan, Pennsylvania. Seventh place, 422, Evan Soda out of Perkymannville, Pennsylvania. Andrew Porter from Dryden, New York, 6:14 and 8th. Evan Timko from St. Clairsville, Ohio. It's going to be one of our upcoming GNCCs there with Powerline Park. That's where he's from. He's in 9th. Justin Zellner out of Landensburg, Pennsylvania is 10th place there, Junior B. Now the Vet B, John Salsa out of Warwick, Rhode Island, the 4:10 with a 2-minute, 15-second lead over David Pichet, the 5:59 from Terrebonne, California. The 1:20, Aaron Hendershot from Mansfield, Ohio. New York, Dave Napo, the 6:98 out of Eden, New York, in 4th place. I was supposed to go to his house for like Labor Day weekend, or maybe it was the weekend before that. They were doing pond skipping on jet ski, or not jet skis, the snowmobiles. And I planned on all summer going up there, and last minute I couldn't make it, man. I so regret it. But Dave Napo, fresh from his pond skipping on his snowmobiles, out in 4th place. Justin Kerr in 5th. Jeff Bush, the 8:69, in 6th place. He's out of Homer, New York. Justin Kerr, by the way, out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Napo's out of Eden, New York. We knew he was from New York. Lyle Morrison, the 74 and 7th, out of Attleboro, Massachusetts, North Attleboro. Out of Canada, Yannick Mayer, the 3:53 and 8. Timothy Streeter is from parts unknown aboard the 4:43 and the 4:46 of Steve Barber from West Camp, New York. Rounds out your top 10 in the Vet B 30-plus class. And I'm going out on a limb here. That's it. That'll wrap up our Mid-State Chevy Midway report there. A little past the midway point, but I think we got these riders as they all were at their midway stature there at about the 1 hour mark whenever they checked in, as I look down my roster here. So with that being said, Mikey, I haven't been paying attention to the screen. I hear these guys, sounds like some fast guys out on the moto track right now. I don't know if it's our XC1 guys or not. So we should be actually getting close to Sky Shot soon from what I'm understanding. So we'll be watching that. Fowler, McClure, Wesley Wolf, Landon Wolf, Bryson Neal, your 5th place position.
And I'm trying to see, where did Adam McGill end up? They got him down there in 18th, and that's got to be, they still have to be working on the transponder, because I know I saw Adam check in the thick of things.
Adam McGill is down to 19th place.
So that's going to be my guess.
Now, Boric is also down to 18th, but we know he is out of this. If you want to go ahead and go get a quick word with those guys, see if we can get at least a little idea what exactly happened. Did it happen on the jump, before the jump? I would say that the jump broke it, to be honest with you. Those guys put a lot of wear and tear on these machines. And when they see something like Sky Shot out there, sometimes their equipment could say, oh, I'm tired. Wow, look at that rider coming up that hill, just swamping it out. And that is Jared McClure, your 2nd place ride. You can see he's letting it all hang out, letting her rip, Tater Chip, as I like to say. Not a whole lot, but I do like to say it every once in a while. So Mikey's on his way down to the Pro Pits. We'll get some updates on what's taking place down there as we are in the home stretch of these final 25 minutes or so of racing. Top amateur right now, Robbie Picarari is back. Wait a minute. Let's go back and look at that. The Vet A class. Oh, he's back out ahead of Pickens. That was after 3. Now after 4, Picarari is back in command, and he is still top amateur right now. Nope, take that back. We have 2 College A riders that have bested those riders on adjusted time right now, and they are College A class leader from Great Bend, Pennsylvania, Ben Kowalewski. He is 15th place overall right now. The 7:12 of John Glott out of Waxhaw, New Jersey, 12 seconds behind him, is 15th overall. And then Robbie Picarari in 18th overall, Jeff Pickens in 20th overall. So, wow, the face of that changed very, very quickly. And by the way, Bodie Lamoureux, the 969, is 19th overall. So those College A guys have really inched their way up into the overall top 20 here today. That's going to bode well for them in their overall points chase race here, especially if they can hang on to it to the end of the race and have a good rest of the season at the same time. So, wow, what a day. Fowler, McClure, Wolfe, and Neal, your top 5. I'm going to point out something to you. We've got virtually a new era chipping on the podium right now. The newest era of youth riders making their way through the ranks. Wesley Wolfe, Landon Wolfe, and Bryson Neal. Now, Landon rode with Hunter Hart and those guys. Wesley tried to chase down Hunter Hart and those guys. They were just a couple of years ahead of him, or a year or so, but Landon was one of those riders that raced some in the youth ranks with some of those boys, making his way up through the ranks there the last few years, and then to the top ranks the last few of XC1. But yeah, I've got pictures of LW and Hunter whenever they were little kids on the podium. Crazy, man. So Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Wesley Wolfe, that's what we're, and right now, really, the question is, Wesley Wolfe, Landon Wolfe, Bryson Neal, what's going on there? Okay, let's break it down for you. 57 seconds separate Wesley Wolfe and Jared McClure for second. So right now, with a 2-lap board out, I believe we can almost guess that Walker Fowler, I believe, that just went through there just a moment ago, is motoring his way through without much problem. But wow, he's going to be way out in front at the finish line before these guys even think about it. There's going to be a lot of race time left to go. So 57 seconds between McClure and Wolfe, and then another 42, almost 43 seconds back to Landon Wolfe. But here's where it gets interesting. Bryson Neal, 0.6 of a second behind Landon Wolfe when we last checked in. He was also turning a faster lap at 20 minutes and 54 seconds, nearly a minute faster than Landon Wolfe's last lap time, and about 10 seconds faster than Wesley Wolfe. So things are starting to chip away here. Time is of the essence as we are running short on it right now. Looking at our time, 1 hour and 37 minutes and 45 seconds into this race. And of course, it is Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, and now Wesley Wolfe solid in third. Can he hang on to it? Will it be his first ever podium? And can Walker Fowler snag championship title number 3? GNCC Live continues after this.
Hey guys, it's Adam McGill here, the Gator. Everybody knows who it is. Welcome to Unadilla. Welcome back to RacerTV.
Are you looking for a dirt bike piston that can increase power and decrease blow-by? Then check out Wiseco's all-new Racer Elite piston line. Racer Elite has been used exclusively by the pros, including RCH, Yoshimura, Suzuki Factory Racing, and are now accessible to the public. Available for popular 250 and 450cc dirt bikes, the Racer Elite series is the first off-the-shelf asymmetrical power sports piston ever made. Its fully machined billet aluminum construction features an exclusive custom lap top ring. Step up with dyno-proven power gains with Wiseco's Racer Elite piston line.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it in the air. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast. I didn't really like high school too much. Too booky, too take notes, learn this, and that's it. Yeah, WildTech, that full-size motorcycle. The feeling of taking them apart every day, putting them back together. You can't explain it. Everything I learned applies to now. Seeing your motorcycle that you put together right around the track at 180 miles an hour, oh, definitely rewarding. My name is Mike. My school's WildTech.
Get on the fast track to a career. Turn pro at WildTech.
GNCC, it's round 10 of our AMSOIL Championship season right now. Just getting some updates here from the folks watching the scoring monitors and watching the points. That's radioed in and said, hey, 99.9% sure that Walker Fowler is going to wrap it up. Well, he's going to do that in about a lap or so as he is due in for his white flag this time around, folks. Walker Fowler riding the ride that dreams are made of. Is that the case? May or may not be, but I tell you, a lot of folks dream to ride like Walker Fowler, and the ride that is what he's dreaming about most is the ride across that finish line in about 23 minutes, 24 minutes from now. She motors his way around. Oh, there he is. White flag coming out. He is right on pace, only about 20 seconds off pace right there. One more to go for Walker Fowler. And his bid for title number 3 here in the 2017 AMSOIL GNCC Series. A true picture of greatness, there's no doubt. And nearly flawless all season long. Nearly a perfect record up to this point, other than the 1 second place position he took behind Johnny Gallagher at the infamous mud race that we had in Indiana. So Fowler could see him in the next couple of races actually racing an XC3 125 Pro class, the FMF 125 class. He's talking about dabbling in that. I know the folks at Yamaha are supportive of it, and they are supportive of him going out and winning in his UTV the rest of the season. So basically all the pressure is almost off Walker Fowler at this particular point. So Fowler in. Now let's see. McClure is in, 40 seconds back. Nearly a minute back next to Jared McClure. Or excuse me, Wesley Wolfe. I'm sorry. That's who we expect it to be, Wesley Wolfe. But Adam McGill, they're telling us now, is in 4th place. So I wish they'd get that figured out. No, I wish, Adam, you would. Your transponder was working is what I wish. But
hey, Rodney, I could jump in there for you and fill in the gap a little bit.
Okay.
Did talk to McGill's pit crew. They did say they believe he's back there in 4th place. Obviously, transponder's still not working. Walker Fowler's pit crew's got the sign up. It said, just let her chew. So they are getting down. We're starting to see more smiles down here in Fowler Lane. So celebration just about on for them. And had the chance to talk with Chris Borch's crew, too. Frustrating into the day for them. Didn't have a whole lot to say, but certainly a frustrating afternoon for those guys.
Well, obviously, I believe the problem, we said a rear shock. I imagine something breaking there over Sky Shot, ending Chris Borch's day. And again, he was in a great position for another great finish here. Unfortunately, and I can say this, if the Borch crew is frustrated, that's good news, because that means that they're still hungry and they were hoping for something big here today. So that means that everybody's still on page in the Chris Borch pits over there. They're not letting this thing slide just because he's been a champion and won so many races. They're back out here not just to ride, but they are here to win, and that's what they want to do. Updating our scores right now. Wesley Wolfe has checked in. Bryson Neal has checked in. I believe that McGill was between Bryson Neal and Wesley Wolfe. Can't swear to that, but I believe that's what it is. And things are tightening up there as Neal, McGill, actually Neal and Wolfe are 30 seconds apart. So that means that McGill is somewhere in between. It said he was 42.8 seconds behind Wesley Wolfe last time around. But with 30 seconds separating Bryson Neal and Wesley Wolfe now, I have to think that he is a lot tighter than that. So I think I've just seen maybe LW go through our shot there on the number 7 machine. LW is actually 5th place, maybe 6th place out of Glenville, Pennsylvania, once we get Adam McGill's transponder poked in there. So it can get a little confusing if you are following along at home and you wonder what keeps happening to McGill, and then all of a sudden he's right back up. It is a transponder issue on his part, so we are sure it will not be rectified today. At this point, we're just going to let it continue and continue the hand scoring. It will not change anything in the way the outcome of this race is. But again, as more riders check in with 5 laps down, it is Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Wesley Wolfe, Bryson Neal, Landon Wolfe, all in with 5. Where are the rest of our riders with 5? Wow, these riders have really created a comfort zone for themselves in a top 5 position here today. Just watching right now, waiting, so to speak, with bated breath to see what is going to transpire here. I'm pretty much satisfied that Fowler and McClure have this first and second place position wrapped up. I'm not completely satisfied that WESTLEY does yet. And the reason I say that is just simply because he is a rookie and he has the experience of Adam McGill behind him. And in these closing laps is when Adam McGill, again, seems to be able to find everything he needs to find to do the old gator chomp and eat you right up and spit you right out. And don't be surprised that if McGill comes around on a podium, and that's all he was looking for today. He's only a position away from that. So with only being a position out, you know that that's got to inspire him quite a bit, knowing the troubles that he has succumbed to here in years past. Wow, Hunter Hart, 6th place position now overall and physically on the racetrack. Hunter Hart is physically 6th place on the racetrack. Devin Fehan, 7th, physically on the racetrack and in the overall. And Josh Merritt now 8th place on board the number 10. That looks like Boric back out on the track right there, quite possibly. They may have gotten his machine back fired up, and or the shot really far behind right now, but Chris Boric is back in the race. That will probably and likely take him out of a top 20, but Chris is going to go out and ride. That right there, man, that, again, I'm impressed. You know, Chris has proven enough over the course of his career that he could hang his helmet up right there at the end of this race day and say, yep, that's not my day today. And nobody really think a whole lot about it. But I tell you, one thing that we do think about is when we see the heart of a champion still beating in that 6-time GNCC champion. So he's back out there salvaging whatever he can for this race day. And I'm proud and happy to see that happening, no doubt. So Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Wesley Wolfe, Bryson Neal knocking on the door. Landon Wolfe a little ways back in 7th, but again, we got to throw in there Adam McGill, who according to timing and scoring is all the way back in 11th, but we know from reports that he is still in the 4th place position, or at least was at the last report that we were able to entertain there. So wow, man, how crazy has this day been? Chris Boric got the whole shot, dropped back a little bit, battled back to 3rd, was up to 2nd for a little while, then McClure got around him for the 3rd place, or for the 2nd place position. McClure has not looked back. McClure had actually, Chris Boric had actually closed up to within 17 minutes, or 17 seconds of your leader there at one point after being down 30 seconds, but something going awry there, pushing Boric back to 3rd, and then little mistakes here and there add up. And then the broken shock, now it's fixed, he's back out. What a day, what a day, what a day. Bryson Neal rounding out your top 5 right now. Just patiently and waiting and watching as our riders here at the 3.3 and the 4.5 mile markers. According to our timing here, we should be coming to the 4 mile section of this juncture of the track. Right now we are 11 minutes from having the leader due in. We are about 10 and a half minutes out from the end of 2 hours. So we are not going to be far off whatsoever when the total elapsed time is posted. 43 minutes into this race. Or excuse me, an hour and 40 minutes into this race. Dang. Now an hour and 50 minutes into this race. Fowler had checked in at the 140 mark. And now is motoring his way through and around this track in search of checkers, and that amazing three-peat that he is looking at taking control of here today. Had to go back and count that, make sure it wasn't more than 3 for a second. Well, Mikey, I tell you, you got the atmosphere and the feel in the pits. What's going on? I know you gave us a little report, but overall, the general conception of what you see down there.
Well, the one thing that I heard was from McGill's pit, and it wasn't about McGill, it wasn't about Fowler, it was about Bryson Neal. And they said, man, if anybody's going to make a move here at the end of this one, I think it's Bryson. He's coming through these pits like a man on a mission. So Bryson, you know, looking to turn it on, maybe make some moves and shake something up here in the end. But, I mean, what is it, a 30-second gap between him and Wesley Wolfe? I don't know. Well, I guess McGill's in there, too, somewhere because of the scoring issue or the transponder issue.
He was about 13 seconds faster on that lap, believe it or not. So he did chip away at that. That was about a 44-second difference between those two. It's down now 30.9. So Neal is chipping away. The only problem is time isn't on his side on this, but what may be is some of the traffic starting to slow down here in this final lap. It might bunch things back up out there and open a window of opportunity.
Very, very possible. And sorry I'm late. I got distracted. They're getting the stage set. I saw a nice #1 plate up there on the podium.
Oh, yeah?
So things are, the celebration is almost on. And I will say that the Fowler family all over there, their smiles were a little bigger than the first time I was over there. And they're ready to roll.
That's why Grandma Joan was out this morning.
Yeah.
She was walking on air. I mean, she looked like she was just happy as a lark and just dancing around, bouncing around down in the pits. And, you know, out of all these years that I've watched Walker and been acquainted with Walker and his family, I've never met Grandma Joan until this morning. And that was probably one of the highlights of my day. Actually, it was one of the highlights of my day. I'll never forget it. Such a sweet, sweet lady. And I know that she and the rest of the Fowler family are just on pins and needles right now, just waiting for that final checker flag to wave.
Yep, and it's going to happen soon. Where are we at out there?
Well, we are about 8 minutes out, according to timing and scoring right now. And we are waiting on... I was trying to figure out what's going on with that guy right there. That's the bad thing about trying to announce at the racetrack and on TV. You get to watching TV, and that's what happens. You start watching TV.
What's going on? And another thing, too, we can't take it away. Wesley Wolfe, I mean, this could be his first top 3 finish as an XC1 Pro. That's huge. You know, I don't want to take anything away from the day Walker's had, but that is impressive for Wesley Wolfe.
It most certainly is, and honestly, this is the ride that he was needing. Bryson Neal was needing a good, solid ride. He wants on the podium as well. Now, Bryson is showing lots of great strides here in the latter part of this race, and he said he made a lot of changes. Said, you know, basically they had set the bike up right maybe a year and a half ago and didn't really make a whole lot of changes. I mean, they've been using the same settings and the same this and that, and they hadn't been doing any testing. He said this summer they went out and they did some major testing. He's got different suspension settings. He's got different this. So basically, Bryson is looking at these final 4 rounds as a lot of golden opportunity to return to the place where he is more comfortable in the early part of the season up on the podium. He wants to be there at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, I think that's it's very accurate. I mean, at this point in the season, these guys know whether or not if where they're at right now is where they saw themselves at the beginning of the year, and maybe now you're starting to think, okay, we're in the final leg of this GNCC tour, if you will. You know, what can I do to make myself better for next season? What better time to start?
Well, look at that.
There we go.
Walker Fowler, the big fist pump over Sky Shot, the final time here in 2017 for the #1. He will be a 3-time champion whenever he rolls across that finish line. That's the last time he'll cross Sky Shot as a 2-time GNCC champion, you know?
That is exactly right. And, you know, you saw him as he came off the motocross section, not slowing down a whole lot, but just enough that he knows that this is it.
I think he's going to celebrate. Fans around the racetrack, if you've got your radios on, be watching for him coming up between now and the finish line. Give him all the moral support you can, the cheers, the yells, the whistles, the hoopla that a champion deserves in his closing moments and the waning moments of this championship run here at Unadilla and his third championship title. Walker Fowler. Fowler on fire. That was the slogan some 4 years ago. Fowler caught on fire, and his flames have not been extinguished yet, my friends. And watching the way that he rode here today, the way he's ridden all season long, Mikey, I have to venture to think that it's going to be a long time before anybody's going to be able to step up, at least not this season.
Yep.
Step up and challenge Walker Fowler for any more wins, no matter what happens here in the remainder of 2017. Walker Fowler is going to be a champion as long as he gets that machine to the finish line. Ricky Towery waiting patiently right now. He's got some 5 minutes or so that he has to wait. 4 minutes and 40 seconds according to timing and scoring at this point. Get your cameras out, folks. Walker Fowler, I'm sure, will pose for you as he celebrates this victory today, and what he knows is another title to his credit.
You know, what does it do for a guy, a rookie like Wesley Wolfe, who in all likelihood is going to be number 3 on that podium? So let me think. He'd be looking to his right. So if I'm Wesley Wolfe, I'm a rookie, this is my very first podium. What goes through a rookie's head as he looks to his right and sees a guy like Walker Fowler, center of the box? Does that motivate you and say, that's where I want to be?
I'll tell you right now, I can speak for Wesley Wolfe in saying this. Yes, exactly. That's where he wants to be. That's his idea. In reality, Wesley had expected. I mean, he had come into this season thinking that he was going to be podium potential right at the beginning of the year, which he was. He had a couple little mishaps here and there that kind of took the wind out of his sails. But in reality, he had hoped to be contesting for wins by now. I mean, that was the mindset, that was the game plan coming into this. Talking to Wesley, yeah, obviously the game plan has changed quite a bit, but at the same time, it's all about pushing forward and getting better and getting faster. Maybe he won't get the win as soon as what he had hoped, but Wesley knows he's capable of taking a win sometime in the future, and that's what he's working toward. So here we are, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, my friends, and Walker Fowler, as long as that machine continues to roll, will be the 2017 AMSOIL GNCC ATV champion. Wow. Who would have thought back in 2005 and 4 when we were talking about making youth ATV racing a mainstay on the circuit, that a young man that was one of the top youth motorcycle pilots of the era and of the day would make the switch from 2 wheels to 4 wheels to become quite likely one of the greatest GNCC racers of all times on 4 wheels. And we are talking about Walker Fowler. The storied career of this young man goes back to when he was just a young youth racer here in the GNCC Racing Nation. Racing the 60s on the 2 wheels, racing the 80s on the 2 wheels, racing the big wheels in the 2 wheels. It wasn't until he had to step up onto the big bikes that the folks at Yamaha stepped up and said, Walker, come with us and ride 4 wheels. And that's exactly what he has done. And look where that has led him to. The minds and the folks that thought about this, wondering and thinking that this is what was going to come to pass, have got to be feeling great about themselves and the decisions they made just a few short years ago. Donnie Luce, pat yourself on the back. All of Yamaha Racing, pat yourself on the back, because you chose the right rider. You put your effort, you put all that time and hopes into the number 1 who is going to carry that number 1 plate for another season for the Blue Crew. Wow, what an amazing feat for Walker Fowler. What a beautiful place to make something like this happen as we check out some of this beautiful landscape here at the Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Trackside, some of the most beautiful scenery that you're going to see across the nation. Walker Fowler less than 3 minutes. Walker Fowler is now less than 1 minute away from the finish line, friends. And that historic 3rd championship win. Win number 9 in 2017 for Walker Fowler out of 10 races. An amazing feat in and of itself. Just now hitting the 2-hour mark in our race, and we will not miss it by much whenever the checkers do finally come out for Walker Fowler here in just a few moments. He is due in about 15 seconds, but I'm going to tell you, Walker has slowed down this lap. Walker is celebrating the win at Unadilla, the place that has been so good to him throughout his entire career of four-wheeler racing. And here he is, the final few turns, and say hello to your 2017 AMSOIL GNCC champion, Walker Fowler. 9 wins in a row, or 9 wins this season. And what an amazing feat this rider was able to achieve here today. In championship number 3, Walker Fowler has done it here at Unadilla. This place has been so good to Walker Fowler. He got wins here, if memory serves me correct, as an XC2 Pro-Am racer, and he has certainly lived out every dream that he has had so far about his GNCC career, except for the one. He wants to be the winningest. He wants to have the most titles. He wants to have the most wins. And I'll tell you, folks, with a track record like what we're seeing out of Walker Fowler, a few more good seasons like what he just had, and he very well may be in contention and position to do just exactly that. Wow, folks, it amazes me just what we just witnessed as the sun comes out and shines brightly here. It's starting to break through these clouds. It's a sunny moment at a sunny time in the career of Walker Fowler. It's warming him up, I'm sure, but he didn't need that to warm him up because he had that win, that very important win that he just took. Here comes Jared McClure through as he'll take the number 2 position. The Cobra up on the rear wheels as he goes through the finish line. He will take second. And what another great battle for him, and honestly, good for his points position battle in the top 5 here in 2017. So we look back to the 3rd place position. Will it be Wesley Wolfe? Will we see this young rookie's first ever podium position finish here? There's Chris Borich going by, folks, but again, remember, he is back a little ways because of the mechanical issue. And we continue to roll here. What's going to happen? There's Bryson Neal checking in now. We just see Neal going around the turn. And at the checker flag, I believe that Bryson Neal may have very well stolen the thunder from Wesley Wolfe. Let's double check that. Yes, he has. And Bryson Neal is 3rd place here today at Unadilla, the place that he wanted to be. He said, I got to get back on that podium. And to see that he was able to make that push here late in the race, it's good for the rest of the season because we know we can anticipate that kind of intensity out of this rider coming up. You got to expect that Wesley Wolfe is fired up right now. He's going to want to come firing back here in a couple of weeks when we roll into round 11 in Masontown, West Virginia. And he's going to be coming back with a vengeance, my friends, in search of that first podium. Adam McGill, I believe, slated to come in that number 5 spot, if I'm not mistaken. Then it's LW Landon Wolfe, Hunter Hart, your XC2 Pro-Am class winner. Let's see here. Now remember, the last few rounds, we've had to wait a while to get the XC2 Pro-Am class in, several minutes before we would know, but that's not going to be the case today, I don't think. As we continue to watch the checkers wave, and Ricky Towery welcoming each one of these riders to the end of a spectacular day of racing. Race fans here at the track, we still got a couple more little battles to go. We got our micro 50cc motorcycles and ATVs coming up here shortly. We'll be crowning champions with that. And right now, we are, again, just waiting to see what's going to happen with the rest of the field. Things got kind of spread out there, it looks like. It's been a while since we've seen anyone check in, at least according to my calculations. So here we go. What's going to happen? Will Hunter Hart hang on to that? Will Devin Feehan, who was a second behind, less than a second behind, 10 seconds behind, 8 seconds behind, now at last check was 10 seconds behind when they came through for the white flag. They were less than a second, or right at a second anyway, 1.017 seconds, I believe, if memory serves me correct. They're at the white flag, or at the 2-lap board. That changed a little bit. Will it change much when these riders come in for the checker flag? What do you think, Big Jim? What do you think? You like that? Big Jim Steiner, one of New York's own up here, and well, not so much this year, top GNCC racer, because they've kind of focused on things at home this year, but nonetheless, one of the more highly competitive riders out of Wainoa and on the national level. This guy, how old are you, 45? 47 years old, races sometimes in the A class, 30-plus class. What class are you going to race tomorrow, Big Jim? The A? Vet A. He's going to go 30-plus A, 17 years. He could go senior A, but he's not going to. Or super senior A even. So that's the kind of man that Big Jim Steiner is. Still waiting on more riders to check in. According to my calculations, at least my monitor, it tells me Fowler, McClure, Neal, Wolfe, and Wolfe are the only riders to check in with 6 laps of racing complete. I know that Josh Merritt was a couple minutes back of Adam McGill. And McGill may be in also. I can't swear to that. Josh Merritt is in now. There it is. So Josh Merritt, I'm assuming Adam McGill is also in. Not sure which position they're going to give him until they score him in. But basically right now we're waiting on Hunter Hart and Devin Feehan. Those two New Yorkers. Man, you couldn't ask for a better race right here in their home soils. And we got to witness a good portion of it ourselves here today. The 17 and 16 of Hart and Feehan. Well, I tell you what, we still, we're going to come back here in just a moment and check in with Hunter Hart in this XC2 Pro-Am class to see if he's able to hang on to it. But right now, we're going to take a quick break.
Introducing SoundArt, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. SoundArt is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. SoundArt by Ansia. Your art never sounded so good.
Racer, Ranger, Sportsman, Ace. If you live for the outdoors, there's a Polaris to match your passion. Confident, comfortable, capable. That's Ace. With a solo cockpit, automotive controls, independent suspension, all-wheel drive, and up to 45 horses of fuel-injected power. Calling it revolutionary would be an understatement. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. The all-new from the ground up 2018 Yamaha YZ450F is arriving soon at LoJack Cycle Sales. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service and 15 national championships, we know racing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and view our online inventory at lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
Get the most protection for your vehicles and toys and the most bang for your buck with the AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program. Join today and receive up to 25% savings on AMSOIL products, exclusive product and shipping promotions, free AMSOIL gear, points on all purchases, referral rewards. Register today and take advantage of all the benefits offered by the AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program. Visit amsoil.com/PC.
Here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we go beyond selling parts, apparel, and accessories. We take pride in supporting the sport. We're proud to sponsor GNCC Racing and the KR4 team. It's just one more way to show our dedication for the fans and riders of this great sport. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. At Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we want to help increase rider participation at your next race, rally, or club event with our free Race Gas program. Join Race Gas, and every rider that signs up for your event or club gets a free $10 gift card to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. It's that simple. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey Waynes and a new champion in 2017. Well, it's his third one. Walker Fowler just captured the win here at Unadilla, and that does it for him. That'll put him on top of the box. Nobody will be able to take this title away from him here in 2017. And lends to the questions, what does the next 3 rounds hold for Walker Fowler? We'll just have to wait and see, but nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of fun as Walker Fowler takes the win here at the Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC. Jared McClure was second, Bryson Neal in third, Wesley Wolfe, a commendable ride by that young man as he takes fourth place, Landon Wolfe in fifth, Hunter Hart in sixth, seventh is Devin Fehan, Josh Merritt in eighth, Marty Christopherson ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is our old buddy, Johnny Gallagher. And once again, that is for the overall. Hunter Hart and Devin Fehan from the XC2 Pro-Am class. They will be first and second in their class. They will also have podium presentations for those riders following the XC1 podium. Speaking of following podiums, don't forget to head on down to the start line as we're going to be heading down there shortly for our micro class racing, our 50cc motorcycles and ATVs. First we'll go the bikes, and then the ATVs will roll second. But these young men and women are in their heated battle of their 6th round of racing for the championship this year, and that is the final round. The youth or the micro riders only have 6 rounds of racing, and will be their 6th and final round. So we'll be crowning champions in that one coming up here shortly, and that one's always a lot of fun to watch and very highly competitive up here in Wainoa when we get into western New York. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So you guys, hopefully you'll stick around, watch, and check some of that action out. Maybe you'll want to stick around, check out some of the celebrations, post-podium celebrations of Walker Fowler, as they will be celebrating and taking team pictures and photos and everything. So it's going to be a pretty cool affair. If you've never been around one of those celebrations, it is kind of neat to watch. It's a lot of pictures and things like that, and a lot of posing, but it certainly is a great moment in a champion's career, no doubt. So we're making our way to the podium area right now. I'm going to try to give you a little breakdown on what's going on here. As we know, Fowler, McClure, Neal, Wolfe, Hart, Fehan, Merritt, Christopherson, and Gallagher were your top 10. I've got Greg Covert, who is third in the XC2 Pro-Am class, 11th overall. And still waiting right now, Collier, Lindell, Schick, Kowalewski, Hamilton, Glada, Nod, Borge, all to check in. Now, Chris Borge had got back out. He's going to score a point, at least 1 point. If he can get a few more positions out there, it could be more than 1 point, and that's how critical things like that are. I think that Chris Borge, man, that's the heart of a champion right there. He rides off the track, broken shock near the end of the race. He could have said the heck with it, but not Chris Borge. He goes back out, tries to make things happen, and he looks like he could very easily score at least 1, maybe more points, depending on how many positions he can work up through the course of this final lap of racing. Right now, everything getting sorted out and switched around as we'll be heading down to the podium with our cameras and be getting our podium presentations in just a few moments. Hey, if you want to check out GNCC Racing on TV, your television shows, well, actually, the way it's broke down here, we've got our RacerTV network schedule there for you, and you can also see the NBC Sports Network. Round 9, the Wiseco John Penton will actually be not airing until Saturday, October 14th. The following Wednesday, they'll have a repeat of that at 4 o'clock. But the rest of the season looks like this. Obviously, Unadilla here tomorrow, pro bikes at 1 o'clock. Then 2 weeks, we'll be heading, will be September 23rd. We'll be at the Mountaineer Run. It's the pro ATV race on Saturday. And on Sunday, the 24th, will be the motorcycles. But also on Saturday, the 23rd, at 4:45 or so, we will be having the UTV race, the side-by-sides, as they begin the push for their final 3 rounds of racing. They've got 3 more races to go in their championship. That's going to be exciting to watch as well. You want to catch that after the Mountaineer Run GNCC on RacerTV in 2 weeks. But every round is covered, and check them out, 1 o'clock each and every race day. So we can see our Max's Victory Lane is starting to come to life as the Snake Cobra has made his way up into the podium for the 2nd spot. And race fans down here at the podium, I think that we should give Walker Fowler his just desserts here for taking not only a very convincing win, but capping off that championship here today as they ready that machine. There's Tracy Pickens. Tracy is a 9-time GNCC WMX, or WXC, I'm sorry, WXC class rider. She races not so much on a serious level as far as championships goes, but man, when it's on the racetrack, it's pretty serious for that girl. Good to see her still out being a part of the GNCC racing. And we see that championship celebrations are getting organized right now as Walker's machine by his mechanic and friend, former GNCC pro racer, Mark Notman, also a teammate from this summer's team race out in Iowa. Rides it up into the center of the box for him. And wow, what a great push for the next rider coming up onto the podium as we put our hands together now for the number 5 of Bryson Neal for that late race charge on that Coastal Racing machine to take the 3rd place position here today. And as we look down on the podium, looks like everyone's just about ready to go, waiting on Mikey to find his position down there. We'll head on down to Max's Victory Lane and begin the celebrations here at the Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC. Mikey, are you ready? Look at that. There you go. Congratulations. And I can as we wait for Mikey, I can imagine the conversation that's going on right now. Jared says, oh, welcome back. Actually, those two went to France and raced the Pont de Vaux together there a few weeks ago. So he's like, well, man, welcome back. Looks like the ride over in France might have did some good. Yeah. And now they're doing a little bench racing, talking about how the lines come together and looping out. Yep, almost crashed, but didn't. Thank goodness for the mud fleas, right? I don't know what they're saying. So, well, it looks like Bryson might have slammed into somebody. I love this part of the race. But again, we're getting Walker ready to go. I'm sure that he's got a few little things that he needs to do before he can make his way up to the podium. We got some television interviews to do with those guys for NBC Sports Network also. But what a big day here for Walker Fowler. He came into this one, he was confident that he was going to be able to do exactly what he did, and that was to win and secure the championship. But as he said, he didn't also at the same time want to count his chickens before they were hatched. So he knew that he had 2 hours, and actually it turned out to be how many? 2 hours, 1 minute and 8 seconds. Honestly, for him, when it was all said and done, he beat McClure by 1 minute and 27 seconds. Neal was another 40 seconds back, with 37 seconds back to Wesley Wolfe, and almost 2 minutes back to Landon Wolfe. Well, I got to tell you, Wesley Wolfe, I believe, may have broken the plane that he needed to break today, and though he did not make the podium, is going to be one to watch in these final 3 rounds of racing, especially when we roll into, I believe, West Virginia. For some reason, something tells me he could do pretty good in those rocks of Masontown. As we said, tomorrow we'll be back out here tomorrow morning. We've got youth motorcycle racing at 8 a.m. At 10 o'clock, we've got that amateur division, the mainly C's and age classes, and also WXC going to be racing tomorrow at 10, and then tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We will be back at it again with the XC1, the XC2, and XC3, along with all the A and B riders in the afternoon tomorrow. So it's going to be a very exciting time here in New Berlin, New York, as temperatures are a little chilly, but the action is certainly hot here at Unadilla. So again, not real sure what the holdup is down on the podium, but I'm sure it has something to do with Walker getting a new shirt on, gathering some things. But whatever the case may be, we are going to be waiting on Walker Fowler for this podium. I mean, heck, he is the champion, so we are at his disposal, I guess, at this particular moment. Folks, if you haven't had a chance to walk around Bender's Row, we certainly encourage you to do exactly that, as there's plenty of things going on. We've got all the great things going on here with our national sponsors, but a lot of local folks is here with us as well. And, of course, gives you a chance to check out a lot of great things. So it looks like we're about ready to go. 13 years of GNCC racing here at Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Today's race ends with Walker Fowler, a champion. Let's head down the Maxxis Victory Lane.
All right, well, thank you, Rodney Tomlin. We are, the stage is set. First and foremost, Unadilla, give it up for the top 3 out of the XC1 here today. Well, we're going to get things started here. Bryson Neal, 3rd place finish today, man. I had a chance. I was over in the pits talking to some of the crews, and it was actually McGill's crew said the guy that's on a mission right now is Bryson Neal. I think before it's said and done, he's going to be in that 3rd place spot, and here you are, man.
You know, it's the same story it's been all year. I just gave a little bit too much throttle in the start. I got a little bit greedy, and I went to the woods a little bit behind, and on that new hill climb, another rider made up his mind last minute that he's going to hit it, and he came from this side, and I was coming here. We came together. I shouldn't have tried it, but I still tried to give it, and I got stuck on like midway up the hill. They made a human chain. Everyone helped me up the hill. Thank you very much. I was like back there with Greg Culver, Devin Feehan, all the XC2 guys, and I knew I had a long day in the saddle. So, man, my Axis shocks, I mean, I can't thank Mike and McDonald enough. They were flawless all day. The bike handled so good. Everything about the bike, the Maxxis tires, you know, everything was just on point today. Just clawed through the pack and just kept my head down and came and pushed as hard as I could, and we ended up 3rd today. So we got a little bit of luck on our side, and hey, we'll take it.
Absolutely, man. So what kind of momentum does this give you as we approach the last leg of this season here? 3 races left. Where's your head at right now?
I want to go out in these next 3 rounds. I want to get a win. You know, it's kind of one of those things. It's like a gremlin. It's weighing on me now. You know what I mean? I got to get that monkey off my back. It's been, I think it's been 4 years in this class, and I'm ready to go out and get a win. So I get my head on my butt, and I get off that line with everyone else. We'll see if we can make this interesting. So I can't thank everyone enough. My dad, man, when I was over there in France, he put this bike together. And usually when I ride the bike, I can feel stuff coming loose. I can feel almost everything. And, man, I can't give him enough credit. This bike was so perfect today. Everything about it was awesome. And I can't thank him enough for all the time that he put in the shop. And the whole Coastal Racing crew, Barry Hawk, Scott Kiger, Tyler King. I'd like to thank Maxxis Tires, DWT Racing, FMF, Ensign Clutches, Waynesburg Yamaha, VP Racing Fuels, Micah Handlebars, the Cervix, Justin Fallon for coming today with me, the Gary County boys, they got my back. I'd like to thank 343 Graphics, Bel-Ray Oil, Axis Shocks, Micah, Moto Hose. I'd like to thank Lone Star Racing, Twin Air, Super V Batteries, Evans Coolant, Garnet Boots, Answer Racing, EKS Goggles, Bell Helmets, IMS Tanks, Quad Tech Seats, and everyone else out there who's pointing lines and rooting and hollering on that sky shot. Thank you very much.
There we go, everyone. 3rd place finisher, Bryson Neal. Well, here we go. Oh, talking shop. Talking shop.
Yeah.
He doubled it. It was sweet. No, I'm playing. Well, here we go. Second place finisher here today, Jared McClure. Everybody give it up for Sneaky Snake. Well, Jared, and this was, this was just a great race. You were up there in the front of the pack for the majority of the race. Man, what did it take to come away with the second place finish today?
Yeah, I had my work cut out for me in the beginning there. I might have been like 7th or something. I was mid-pack. Just took some different lines in the beginning there, took some chances, didn't get comfortable, just said I got to get moving to the front. And, got around like Johnny Gallagher, Landon Wolfe, them guys. They were riding good, but, I just took alternate lines, got by them. And then I hooked up with Chris Borch for a while, and him and I were rolling. I mean, we put the hammer down trying to catch Walker. We might have closed the gap a little bit, and then back on the hill climb there, a lapper flipped over right next to me, and I was hoping it didn't take Chris out. I mean, that was the last I seen him for the day. And then I kind of rode myself, just trying to, catch Fowler out there, and he was on it. I mean, it was tough. I could see glimpses of him. I can see glimpses of him.
Mess with my sound.
Wish I do. Just keep.
It's working everywhere else. I can tell you that. It's just not right here.
All right, I can see glimpses of him, and I tried, and then last lap I got stuck on the hill myself, and wasn't able to close the gap. So I just settled in for third. I seen Bryson coming. He was putting on a charge, so I just made sure to stay smooth. The Honda was working awesome. The Elka suspension's dialed in. Texera components. Douglas tires were hooking up. I mean, this bike was. It was good. The power from Baldwin was awesome. John Bowers built me a great motor. Couldn't be happier with the setup.
Absolutely, man. Well, big congratulations to you. Again, I did want to mention we're still live and we can still hear everything out there and on the RacerTV.com. So, Jared, I know you've got some sponsors and folks out there that you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I want to thank my mom and dad. They're up here today. They don't get to come to many, so that was cool. They made it. Actually, a lot of people came up. This is a close race for me. All my friends, family, everybody helped me out. Randy Hamilton comes to all the races. He races with me. Then I want to thank John and Marty Bowers. John does all my motors. Big help from my program. Bowers Motorcycle. George and Roy took over the shop. Thank them guys too. They help me out a lot now. Definitely got to thank Elka Suspension, DWT, Tires and Wheels, HMF, IQ, Spider Graphics for keeping the bike looking awesome. Matocycle, Dirtworks, ATVriders.com, Harlan Foley, big part of my program. KG Clutches, Sunstar, Power Mad, Weisco, Bell Helmets, Moto Pro Training, Mark Spataro, still doing his workouts. Precision, Motion Pro, Baldwin, this motor was awesome. Jay Goebel helps me out with the shocks and PY with Elka, Definitely just want to, thank everybody that helps me there and all the fans, everybody up here.
There we go, everyone. Give it up for Jared McClure. All right, are we up? Is it rolling? We're go. Maybe. Oh, now we're talking. Can you hear that? All right. Okay. Well, I am about to turn things over here to our promoter, Tim Cotter. Now, before I do, guys, give it up for your 3-time back-to-back-to-back champion, Walker Fowler.
Thank you, Mikey. New York and GNCC Racing, on behalf of the nearly 200,000 members of the American Motorcyclist Association, both the lifetime and current membership, and the nearly 2,000 GNCC racers, both two-wheel and four-wheel, I am proud to present to you, although it may be light in weight, it is very heavy indeed, 3-time national champion, that coveted #1 plate for Walker Fowler. And Walker, we present to you this GNCC trophy for Unadilla. It's much heavier, but please understand that the red, white, and blue and the stars and stripes of this trophy signifies the unification of both our GNCC nation and the United States of America on this weekend. So Walker Fowler, congratulations. Walker, tell me what you're feeling.
Relieved. But no, I just want to say thank you first and foremost to yourself and the whole Coombs family, Racer Productions, everyone that really busts their butt all year to put on just an absolutely outstanding series. It gives me a place to make a living, and you know, without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. Definitely my whole team, WFR Maxxis Yamaha team, Fly Racing. Just those guys are incredible, again, helping us get to all the races. As you said, all our first responders, man, we're having some tough time down there in the South, Texas and Florida, and yeah, my heart goes out to all those families. My girlfriend's family is actually still down there. They decided they're going to try to ride it out. They're not in exactly the best spot, but like I said, my prayers are with them, and like you said, all the awesome folks that help clean that up and you know, just try to keep it as orderly as possible and you know, keep everyone safe. So all our policemen, EMT, firemen, without you guys, again, this world would just be chaos. So military men and women, thank you so much. Just like I said, just an awesome weekend. Just pumped to get the sound system backed up. I was a little bummed for Jared there. I hate it when that happens, but pumped. I'm really excited.
Walker, for you, it's 3 times. To wrap it up here at Unadilla, you've got a couple of races. Now you get to go home before it's all over. We're going to run through your neighborhood and run over at St. Clairsville. Now you got a 3-race tour to run as that #1 for 2017.
Yeah, it's awesome to head back to, you know, home soils. New York treats me incredibly well. I got to say, the fans and the folks here, we were even, I don't even remember where we were. We were at Walmart about 100 miles away from here in New York, and there was 2 or 3 pictures on Instagram saying it was our truck and it had been raining and there's actually a rainbow over it. It was really sweet, and it was like, Walker Fowler's in town. So thank you, New York, for the whole hospitality. And like you said, we're headed to West Virginia next. You know, it's that one's a little tough, but we get Ohio, and then Indiana's really well for us as well. So just like I said, I'm just excited, man. This is awesome. Fans, thank you. There was a whole group of you guys. I know Jeff Hart, Hunter Hart's father, and a bunch of others. I didn't make it up the hill climb back there. That thing is for real. And they drugged me back to the top, and I thought I was getting beat all day. Jeff is right there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And whoever else was with you guys, man, it was, like I said, I thought I was getting beat the whole time. But, yeah, man, I'm pumped. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
And so I think Tracy has a little something here. And then we've got some other accolades to pass out. Folks, those of you that are here in New York, you have no idea how special this is for a rider to achieve the highest goal. And Tracy, you have achieved that goal many times as our best female rider, and arguably maybe the best of all times. And so you have a little something here for Walker.
Yes, I do, but first I got some things to say. Walker, congratulations on your 3rd championship. We're very proud of you. We know it takes a whole team to win a championship, and watching you and your team to the road to 3-peat was absolutely amazing. Let me see here how I want to say it. No, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I promise I wouldn't cry, okay? But your sportsmanship on and off the track truly is amazing. Your never quit, keep on going attitude this season has really shown that why you are a true champion. And we are proud to have you of the Yamaha family. With that being said, on behalf of Yamaha ATV Racing, I am honored to present you this check. It's for $12,500. Congratulations, Walker. You deserve it.
I like her better. She has money. That's my type of girl. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for our top 3 here at Unadilla Valley Sports Center in front of the Wainoa crowd. These 3 champions, or these 3 riders, celebrate amongst the best fans in GNCC Nation.
Well, there you have it, folks. The celebrations here at Maxxis Victory Lane and the Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC as Walker Fowler completes the 3-peat here in New York. And, of course, with the pictures and the #1 plate and the bonus checks being offered up to these riders, they will now turn to the signature part of the end of a day of racing here in GNCC, what we know and love as the Champagne Celebration.
One more thing, Rodney, real quick.
Oh, there was a couple people I didn't get to thank. Definitely got to give it up to my man, Mark Notman. This guy works so incredibly hard in our shop, and even a little bit of customer work. We took on a side-by-side this year, and this is also our first year on our own team, the WFR Maxxis Yamaha Racing team. And this guy is just incredible. I hope that you guys all follow him on the internet. He's a pretty fun guy to hang out with, and just give him a pat on the back, man. He's just a cool guy to be around. So thank you, Mark, the whole Notman family. My mom and my dad, without them, they wouldn't, I'm going to go over here. Without my parents, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you so much. My sister's at home. She's always making sure that my head's where it needs to be. My beautiful girlfriend, her family down in Florida, if you're watching, thank you, and please be careful. The fans, thank you guys so much. Without you guys, we don't have a race series. It's you guys that come and watch and race yourselves, so thank you. Definitely got to give it up to Maxxis Tires, all the guys. I know Justin and a couple other guys, engineers from Maxxis are here. Thank you guys so much. Chris Harris at Fly Racing, always making sure we look good and giving us these sweet championship jerseys. Thank you, Chris and Max and everyone at Fly Racing. FMF, Little D out there, thank you. Heath and Dan at Lone Star, thank you guys so much. Toby Reed at Moto Experts, his bike's incredible. New sponsor this year was Hinson Clutch Components, and we've just been having an absolute perfect clutch system in this bike. John and Logan at GraphiWorks Indy, Dustin at Fox Suspension, our friends at Maxima Racing Oils. This is our first year with them, and also it's been incredible. Goldspeed Wheels, Fast Company, Flex Handlebars, GYTR, Waynesburg Yamaha, Georgia Precision, thank you so much. Scott at Anti-Gravity Batteries, thank you so much. Moto Seat, Vortex, IMS, Intense Fabrication, Hill International Trucks. It's a local truck company by us. They might actually be out at the Powerline race, so it's awesome for those guys to help us out. Larry Mills at DP Brakes, thank you so much, Larry. CV4 and Sycra, Scott Goggles, thanks, John. Works Connection, ODI, VP Racing Fuels, Carb Sport, Human Race Fuels, keeping us running strong today. D&V Trucking, Garrett at Fuel Customs, and man, the good Lord above, thank you so much for just this awesome weekend and this opportunity. Thank you.
And now, some champagne shower. I'll let you take it away, Rodney, if you're there.
All righty, as we always like to say in GNCC, to the victor goes the spoils, and the spoils of GNCC Racing is just exactly this. The sweet, sweet, come on, boys. Come on, Walker. The sweet, sweet spray of champagne. There you go. That's it, folks. Celebrate with our winners and our three-time champion, Walker Fowler. Well, folks, stick around. We'll be back here on RacerTV.com in just a moment with more GNCC Live and, of course, the XC2 podium.
Hey, this is Walker Fowler, and you're watching Racer TV Live.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of dirt bike lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Here he is, Walker Fowler, Grand National Cross Country XC1 Pro Class Champion.
GNCC is Bald Eagle 50 cal, cowboy boots, diesel trucks, Copenhagen, Bush Light kind of men.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best. The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
I'm Barry Hawk, 8-time GNCC champion, current Coastal Racing team manager. Coastal Racing depends on Evans coolant because there is a lot of variables in GNCC racing. Toughest, most demanding sports there is. From my experience, without a doubt, Evans is the way to go. We have it in all of our race bikes, our race ATVs, our UTVs. It is for sure, without a doubt, a must on our race team. The pros use Evans coolant, and so should you.
Sports Center, the capital of American motocross. And of course, this being the 13th running of the Unadilla GNCC, a couple of quick history notes as we reset the podium right now. You know, the first Unadilla GNCC was held in 2005. The first ever winner here was Brian Cook, and Brian Cook took the win over Bill Balance that day. Brian Baker, whom we see here with his son here this weekend, also took a third-place position finish. Fourth place went to Brandon Balance, and Michael Houston actually rounded out your top 5 that first day. Bill Balance, just an FYI for you, when Balance finished second here in 2005, he did it with a broken leg, scoring enough points to preserve his championship run. He'd go on to break Barry Hawk's all-time ATV title record as he finished up with 9 consecutive titles. And by the way, just congratulations to him. And also Jared McClure, who was racing out there with us. Just give you a quick idea of what 13 seasons has given us. There are 2 XC1 pro racers that race today, that raced in 2005, that are still racing in the class. Talking about Chris Borch, who, by the way, ended up coming up and finishing 14th place overall after nearly not scoring any points at all today, but he did a great job. And of course, Johnny Gallagher, the other rider. Those are the only 2 that were racing XC1 on that day. Jared McClure, who was on the podium with us today, finished first overall that year in the ATV AM race in the 4-stroke stock class in 2005. Pretty amazing stuff, if you ask me. But right now, let's head on down to the podium where we got our top 3 XC2 Pro-Am riders. Sounds like we're about ready. You ready, Mikey?
I'm ready, and I did want to give a shout-out to Chris Borich out of the XC1, who did have the Whole Shot Award from Wiseco, taking home $250 from Wiseco. Again, Chris Borich, tough run for him out there today, but he is going home with $250 from Wiseco. You heard, that is your top 3. Everybody give it up there for the top 3 out of the XC2. Well, and this is a New York sweep, yes? Okay, let's do that again. We tried it one time. Guys, this is a New York sweep. All 3 from New York. Now give it up for the XC2. All right. Okay, I'm going to move this way maybe. There we go. That's better. Well, Greg Covert, man, let's get you some hardware first and foremost. Well, Greg, talk to us, man. Third place finish out there today out of this XC2 class. You guys were working your tails off for this one here. Tell us about Unadilla.
Well, it was pretty rough out there, like always. Got off to a pretty good start, though. Check, check.
You're doing my part now. All right, how's that? That's better. We're getting loud out of that one.
All right, got off to a pretty good start there. was like 4th or 5th, and we made it around a couple guys pretty quick. I found myself in 3rd and felt pretty good behind him there the first lap. Then the second lap came along, and Hunter and Devin got around Johnny Gallagher and Randy Hamilton, and I got caught behind them guys a little bit, and then I started getting pumped up, and struggled a little bit after that, and just kind of fell into my own race, fell into my own pace, and it was good. And I'm happy to be up here for sure. Another consistent finish. Definitely, I finished 4 minutes behind these guys, so that shows you how fast they're going. I definitely don't want to be 4 minutes behind them, but that is what it is. I work hard and try my best. So just go from here, and hopefully I can be a little bit closer next race.
I like it, man. I like that. Well, we got 3 left to do it, and I believe you can. So who are your sponsors and folks out there you'd like to thank today?
Definitely wouldn't be up here without my mom or dad, my brother, and the Smith family, Lily, and Kara Merritt for pointing the lines out there. It was pretty awesome. And all my family and friends that came out today to cheer me on, it definitely means a lot. Some sweet sponsors we got here. High Gear Suspension, Gold Speed Wheels and Tires, they're working real good today. Waynesburg Yamaha, Moto Experts, Hauser Racing, Fast Flex, FMF, Spider Graphics, Precision Racing, FPS, Fly Racing, IMS, Works Connection, DP Brakes, Tire Balls, Braptec, Cycra, XC Quad Racers, Pierce Performance, Elko, Scott Goggles, and Ori Grip.
There we go, everybody. Give it up for 3rd place finisher Greg Covert. Okay, everybody, give it up here. 2nd place finisher today, Devin Feehan, also from New York. Well, talk to us, man. 2nd place finish. You and Hunter Hart, the battle out there. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, for sure. Right from the start, I believe we were 1-2 in the woods, and I just locked in on his bumper, and we rode it out all day right to the finish, and couldn't ask for a better race.
Absolutely, man. So you guys going to continue to get that battle going on with the last 3 rounds, maybe get center of box?
Yeah, I believe it's going to go that way.
All right, I like it. I like where your head's at. Well, I know you've got some sponsors and folks out there you'd like to thank today.
Yeah, definitely my parents, all the friends and family that came out to this New York race. It's awesome to see all the support out there from the fans and all you guys out there cheering us on. MR Unlimited Motors up here in Syracuse pulling this thing all day. Spider Graphics, High Gear Suspension, GBC Tires, Tire Spine, Binghamton Honda, RJR, Hinson Clutches, Quad Tech, Scott, Sunstar, DP Brakes, Renthal, Fly Racing, Fox Shocks, DASA, Hauser, Liette, Precision, and Fast Flex handlebars.
There we go, everyone. Devin Feehan, your 2nd place finisher. Well, give it up for this guy, your 1st place finisher at XC2, Hunter Hart. Hunter, man, I saw you. I was walking around yesterday. You were out doing a little riding, and you said, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and I'm going to see you at the center of the box. And I said, well, that's entirely up to you. I'll be there. You hold up your end. By God, you did hold up your end. So how'd you get this win here today?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was funny how I said I'm going to talk to you 3rd tomorrow, and I kind of just thought about that, and I decided that's what we're going to do. And we got off to a great start. We were behind Levi Cohen. He ripped a sick hole shot, and I was able to make a quick pass and hit on him in the woods. And then Devin and I were able to kind of start to break away a little bit, and Greg was holding his own back there. And yeah, he was just kind of there all day. He pitted and gave me a little bit of breathing room, and I knew I had to have at least 15 seconds for our pit. And we had probably just a little less than that because he was able to get around us. And then we hit a lapper in the woods, and we were just able to make a quick pass on Devin in the lapper and just kind of held our own for the rest of the race, played it smart for the last probably 2-3 miles, and we were able to come home to the win.
I like it. Nothing feels better than winning in your home state, yeah?
Oh, for sure.
Well, good work, man, and you went back-to-back this year in New York, so congratulations to you. I know you've got some sponsors out there you'd like to thank. And some Frisbees to toss in a second.
Absolutely. Actually, Devin was able to get the win here last year.
My apologies.
But yeah, definitely I want to thank God for keeping me safe first and foremost. My mom, my dad, Ithaca Recreation Sports, Courtney Hazen, Conover Collision, Muddy Cotton, Seat Concepts, Evans, Waterless Coolant, Maxxis Tires, Carb Sport, Human Race Fuel for keeping me fueled all day, Doug Hunter, Steve Stroop, everybody that was out there today cheering me on. My dad was out on the hills, just like Walker said. He was there on probably one of the biggest hills out there, and he was there all day. Scott Goggle Sports, Alaska Motorsports, HMF Exhaust, Dustin at Fox Racing Shocks for making these shocks absolutely phenomenal. Maxxis Tires, Quadtech Seats, Hauser Racing, Fox Racing Shocks, DP Brakes, Carp Sport, MotorX, B&R, Fox, and also my mechanic Gary, who puts endless hours into this.
I like it, everybody. That is your XC2 winner on the day, Hunter Hart. We'll get you 3 guys together. We'll get a photograph with Kenny Hill, and then we'll get some champagne showers. And once you're done with that, get your hands and eye coordination ready, because Hunter Hart's got some Frisbees to get out to you guys.
Well, all right. Congratulations to you guys, and thanks to all 3 of you for a great show that you put on for all of the race fans here in the GNCC Racing Nation. Again, Hunter Hart, Devin Feehan, and Greg Covert, 1, 2, and 3. The New York sweep here in the XC2 Pro-Am. Well, that's going to wrap things up as far as RacerTV.com is concerned here. Of course, we got some micro racing to go do here with the motorcycles and ATV 50cc riders in just a few moments. But for those of you at home, be sure and tune back in tomorrow at just before 1 o'clock as we will begin our opening ceremonies and get the race day underway for our XC1 Pro class, as Caleb Russell is set to get out there and try to extend that points lead tomorrow. And of course, the last word is that Thad not going to be racing tomorrow. Will that be the case? We'll just have to wait and see. Join back tomorrow as GNCC Live continues here from Unadilla. On behalf of Mikey Waynes and all of us here at Racer TV and Racer Productions, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying, great day, everybody.